Welcome to episode 165 of Gamerhead Radio. My name is Charlie Technicon Worthley.
I am Jonathan Santiago, a.k.a. Fallon Flynn.
I'm Goat.
And as you can see, we're all wearing our respective Gear VR headsets, and we've decided to do this entire show in virtual reality.
I don't know about all that. You know why? We're not going to do the whole show in virtual reality? Because I can't see shit.
Oh yeah, I can't see anything either. But it's funny, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's this weird dot that I can see.
Oh, that's even worse.
It's okay.
Oh, that's...
Oh, it's so bad. Okay, headset off.
Oh god, damn. Yeah, I think it's time. It's time.
Yeah. So hi, welcome to Gamerhead Radio. We are ridiculous people.
Yes, we are. I jokingly referred to us in the pre-show stream as video game buttheads, but that might as well be what we call the show this evening because of that opening to episode 165. Gentlemen, how are you this week?
I'm excellent, John.
I'd like to take the moment to be very jealous of the men with short hair, because that was a lot more work for me.
I'm sure it was. We did this to punish you, Goat. That was the idea from the get-go.
This whole show's punishment to me. I get it.
Yeah, I'm naked from last week, man. I shaved off my beard. I cut off all like 50 pounds of that hair, and I'm back to looking like V is for Villains, John, not dad bod, fat boy John.
Dad bod?
Dad bod.
Dad bod, that's a thing.
It is a thing. I mean, it's not my thing. I joke. I don't actually have one of those, but.
All right.
Yes. So tell me about your week, fellas. What'd you do?
Surprise! I worked on PonyCons. I mean, that's all I do anymore.
You know what you need to do. You're gonna at this point, considering that the PonyCons are routinely making you their bitch, you might as well just get a PonyCon prison tattoo.
Wow. That is unfortunate and yet accurate. I have no response.
This took a turn.
That's it. I thought that should be what the episode is titled. PonyCon bitch or PonyCon prison tattoo. Yeah. Go. What about you? What'd you do this week, man?
I've been looking at a DAW for pretty much the entire week, a lot.
That's good, man. That's productivity. Yeah. That's what that is.
Yes.
For the unaware, a DAW or DAW is digital audio workstation.
Oh right, yeah, I forget that people don't deal with these things on a daily basis.
In other words, Goat's been in the studio.
That is
a lot.
Yeah, that's what he's been
Either
doing.
this one or the other one. Yeah, it's literally been computer time for me. I'm getting a tan off the monitors.
I'm pretty sure that's called cancer, Goat.
Yeah, whatever, either or.
Yeah. This week I did just work, man. That's it. I had no time for anything else. I did a school-related function where I had to dress up in a suit and go pretend like I was a civilized person. No, it's a lie. But that's it, man. That's all I had time to do. Aside from glorious video games, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Were you able to fool everybody?
That's why I got the haircut and shaved. because if I didn't, nobody would believe me. So, I made the commitment, man. I went full bore here. So, but that was it. That was my week. Yeah.
I'm with you. You can dress this pig in a suit, and I still look like a pig. So.
Goat? You look like a goat, goat, pig. That's man, bear, pig.
Yes, and Al Gore chases me relentlessly.
It's good. So, that being said, Charlie, what's coming out this week, man?
I've got our release list here in front of me, and the very first entry on this list, I'm trying to find out if this is a joke or not, because I'm trying actually very hard to research this real quick as we go here, because the very first entry on at least Kotaku's release log, which is the source I usually go to, on Sunday, May 1st, which would be today as we were recording, Michael Fahey Year 43 edition coming out on multi-platform, which I'm not sure that that's real.
I don't either, because Mike Fahey is an editor for Kotaku. So
right.
That seems a little odd.
It also turns out that he is the 49th mayor of Omaha, Nebraska, so maybe it's about him. I don't know, but I'm just going to assume that that's not real. But moving on to likely releases, Tuesday, May 3rd, Battleborn. It's getting its PC, PS4, and Xbox One release. The Park is coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. Shadow Complex Remastered is making it over its way to the PS4. Never Ending Nightmares is going to be on the PS4 and the Vita. Push Me, Pull You on the PS4. Ray Gigant, Gigant on the Vita. Super Hot on the Xbox One. Tabletop Racing World Tour on the PS4. Buff Night Advanced on the PS4. And Ascend 2, The World Beneath. These titles are futzing with me tonight.
Every week, man, there's something in there that makes you go.
It's true. And I intentionally don't practice these in advance because that's part of the fun. That's part of my charm, I think. On the PS4 and the Vita as cross-buy. And on Friday, May 6th, Coffin Dodgers, okay, on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Looking to the future, Tuesday, May 10th, Uncharted 4 is finally getting its relief, Thief's End on the PS4, and Battle Worlds Chronos on the PS4 and the Xbox One. And Friday, May 13th, Doom is the newest Doom iteration. It's getting its PS4, Xbox One, and PC release, as well as Disney Art Academy on the 3DS. Quite possibly the two most opposite titles you could possibly have coming out on the same day.
No, they both start with D.
Oh yes, I suppose that's true. Gentlemen, are you looking forward to anything on this list?
Not anything particularly leaps out at me other than Battleborn, but I kind of feel like I tried to play the Battleborn beta, but it would not, for whatever reason, I couldn't get into it. I downloaded it, I had it ready to roll, and whenever I would go to try and find a server, it would just cycle. It just wouldn't. I mean, nothing. It wouldn't connect me to anything. So, but I feel like I wanted to try it because it feels, without having played it, from what I've seen, it looks like the poor man's Overwatch to me. And I really can't wait to get my hands on Overwatch. So maybe there's enough room for both of those things, but I kind of feel like Overwatch is going to maybe stomp Battleborn into the floor. We'll see.
It's entirely possible. I appear to be on the minority of people who are not excited for either Battleborn or Overwatch. I know a lot of people are looking forward to Overwatch. I personally have no idea why.
Yeah, but you're not a multiplayer shooter fan.
This is true.
That's what I mean. You're not. If it doesn't have a story, it's not your bag. But for people who do like that stuff, Overwatch has some new freshness, some new flavor to it that people are stoked about. Plus, it's Blizzard, and they, I think people are curious to see what would Blizzard make if they made a first-person shooter, because this is such a strange thing for them.
I missed that it was Blizzard. That explains quite a bit of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Goat, how about you? You looking forward to anything on this list?
I mean, I'm kind of looking for Doom. Doom looks fun, just for memory lane. Uncharted eventually.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to try the Doom beta at all?
No.
Not okay.
I haven't been jumping on the beta train anymore. There's really no point.
That's the thing that pissed me off too. Is I got to play Doom when it was in closed alpha. It was just a server stress test. They did one map, and it was fun. It played a lot like Unreal Tournament. It was really fast paced and arcadey. Then I got invited back to do the closed beta that happened. It was like 3 weeks ago. Downloaded it, installed, same thing. Couldn't fucking get in. All of a sudden, it wouldn't connect me to anything. Same problem I had with Battleborn. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to be able to do it. And then I did the open beta that was, I think, last week or a week before. Same thing. Wouldn't let me connect. So I don't know what the problem was, but bummed out, man.
Well, John, I'm sorry. So now that we know what's coming out this past couple week, what is going to be coming out this next week, I should say. What have you guys played recently?
Go. What do you got?
Nothing really big and exciting. Stuck in Tomb Raider. I don't think I have enough healing potions. I gotta figure that part of it out.
How far are you, Cody? Can you say?
I got the thing that you're after.
You're much harder than me then. I haven't gotten the thing yet.
Yeah.
Mystery.
Last time I checked, I'm about probably, I think I'm twice as far as you are according to percentiles.
Okay, I believe it.
Yeah. So I put that down in frustration. I did. Let's see. What else have I done? I did a little Diablo because Diablo, and then I attempted. God help me! I attempted to play some DC Universe Online twice this week, and I I get it. It's free. It's the new thing. But for fuck's sake, 40 minutes in a queue? No. Not
When
gonna
I
happen.
got on this morning, it was a 75-minute queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so guess I'm a little confused because when I initially saw Goat that you tweeted out or posted that you had a 40-minute wait, because this game has been out for a while, my initial guess was that the reason that the wait was so long is because nobody was playing the game anymore. I take it I have that backwards.
No,
what
it
it
was
is-
so full of people, it was ridiculous. Absurdly ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Xbox, yet again, is their own little community on this game. They don't cross-play with anybody else, so it's literally a brand new game on Xbox, and it's free to people who've never been able to play it before because they didn't have a console other than Xbox. So it's like that whole new toy syndrome.
Right.
Everyone's trying to play it for free, and so that's how you get 75-minute queues.
And they're that limited on how many people they can have online, huh? Really?
Oh no! Here's the thing. You could skip the queue and become a member at $15 a month, which is fine.
Oh.
And-
Well, no. Let's be clear on that. Because a lot of people were salty about that. They have one massive server for this game, right? And because I used to play this when it first launched on the PlayStation 3, and then I played it on the PC as well. And Nick still plays it on the PS4. The server will only allow for X amount of people on it up front, especially when it first launches. So anybody who pays, who has a subscription to it, does get first pick if the server becomes full. Obviously, they let the people who are paying a subscription cost in if the server has hit its capacity. And that being the case, to give you an idea of how backed up they were, when I went on earlier and was into a 74-minute queue, they tell you how many people are in front of you. I had 4,386 people standing in line in front of me to get into that server.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you pay, you don't have to wait? Is that true?
No, that's absolutely true.
Yes, because if you
you're paying
remember,
a subscription cost. Yeah.
see, you become like a premium member, and obviously you're paying, so you get ahead of the line. So when I went on, it was 40 minutes for the free line, 3 seconds for the pay line.
That is absolutely true. Because I've played it with a subscription, and the servers are solid, and it works just
Which
fine,
makes sense,
so.
though. Like, if you're paying for it, I get it. Like, they want more subscriptions. If you don't want to wait and you're impatient, pay us $15. You're ahead of the line. It's like paying the bouncer at the Silk Rope.
Yeah, no, I get it. Just wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and-
it'll die down. It'll die down. Like I said, new toy syndrome for the next couple of weeks. Everybody wants to touch the new toy.
It was like that when it first launched originally, and the thing is that I'm glad that that's picking up a quick community. You got to remember, this is a 5-year-old game, and it doesn't have like a new sheen to it. It looks, I mean, they upscaled it. It's got a better frame rate, and it's got some slightly upscaled textures, but for the most part, they have largely not done anything different to this game, and it's fine. It is an MMO, but it's not a typical MMO. Goat, you'll be right at home with it. It actually feels more like Diablo because you use the left and right triggers and bumpers and stuff to select from a toolbar. It's more action based. You do combos. It's like
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's action based.
I know all about it. I was just
Yeah.
tickled when it came to Xbox. I was like, yes.
I didn't know it was coming. My brother tagged me in it, and I went, woo!
We will definitely play together, John, and we will drag Charlie in just by proxy.
Here's something I'll tell you, Charlie. 'cause
Not if I have to wait an hour to play it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Give it 2 weeks. I guarantee you won't be waiting an hour.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This game actually does have story stuff and
Okay.
has like a story arc that once it's finished, if you don't want to play it anymore, you don't have to. So
So you can actually beat the game, so to speak.
yeah, I mean they've
Oh.
installed. They do it like a comic book. They install it where they call them issues.
Okay.
And if you want to play any of the additional issues after that, you can, and it's a separate story arc. They just keep extending the story content for the game.
Okay. Well.
So you can play the core game, and then if you want to play the other stuff, you can. But it's all optional, I guess. It's all how you play it, but it's fun.
Charlie's got to try it just so he can be Pony Man.
You might actually be able to make that happen somehow. I'm not sure how, but
You could be a superhero. Like
just
every
know,
guy's
you could
dream.
be the Technotronicorn. Be the Technotronicorn.
You have piqued my interest, John.
If I'd known that was all it was
going
going to take, I would have tried to trick you into playing shit with me a long time ago.
John, we're guys. Every guy wants to be a superhero.
It's true. Yeah.
There's no need to be sexist about it. Women want to be superheroes too.
It's true.
I'm just saying we're guys. I didn't say women didn't want to be. Supergirl's awesome.
That she is, Goat.
Yeah, but the three of us are guys is what I was getting at.
It's true.
And we three want to be superheroes.
That is correct.
Have you played anything else recently, Goat, or is that
No, that's it. Yeah, I'm trying to get Diablo
John?
done, so I've been really putting a lot of time in it.
I played DC Universe Online. I played that. I did manage to play. We didn't talk about it earlier this week. Just Charlie was nice enough to give me a download code for the Mirror's Edge beta, and we were gonna play it together. But my download took for fucking ever, and he miscalculated the start time of his ability to play versus his lady's sports intake.
Black Ops Final.
That's it. Can't contend with that.
Yes.
So the following morning when I woke up, I played like 10 minutes of it, and had to leave for work. It's cool. It's awesome. Plays exactly like a modernized version of the original Mirror's Edge. Very pretty. I mean, it's done by DICE. It's the same people who are doing like the Battlefield games right now. And those games, whether you like the content of their play, those games look fucking great. Like, they're really good-looking games. So, looks sharp. Can't wait to play it. Looks like it's a direct sequel to the first one. So anybody who's been waiting, I think, will be pleasantly surprised when it comes. So,
my understanding with the new Mirror's Edge is that I remember anybody who played the original Mirror's Edge might remember that there was an achievement for making it through the entire game without using
Pacifist.
Yeah, the Pacifist achievement, which I'm a proud owner of. My understanding is that in the new Mirror's Edge, using weapons isn't even an option.
I didn't know that.
So my question to you was just to see if I'm correct, is in the beta, did you ever use a weapon?
No, I didn't finish it. I only played, like I said, about 15 minutes of it.
And, but still, I imagine if there were weapons in there, you would have.
Yeah, there were, but I didn't come across a single one that I could recall. And I'm fine with it because if I remember right from the original Mirror's Edge, what gunplay was in there was fairly minimal.
Yeah. It's definitely designed to not use.
Yeah, and it was honestly, the gunplay wasn't very good anyways. So if you were looking for that to be your primary focus, then it wasn't the right game for you anyways. I'm okay with them not putting guns in it because it doesn't need it. It's an interesting enough game on its own. So let's see, what else did I play? Killer Instinct, a new character dropped this week for Season 3, a vampire named Mira. It's really cool. Unique kind of character. Again, I enjoyed it. Not much to say about that because they haven't really done anything for story mode for Season 3 yet. I played a bunch of different little things. A little bit of PC gaming. My father and I are still playing Final Fantasy XIV right now. Played a little bit of Star Wars Old Republic. I get these kicks where I just want to go back and play old things that I haven't played in a while just to see how they have aged, like if I still want to play them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jesus Christ, I know I played more. I tried finishing some of the extreme missions on Metal Gear and got my ass handed to me. Or rather, it's just the ones where if they spot you, like mission over, and you start all the fucking way over, and I got mad at it and turned it off. And then we're going to talk about it during our feature, so I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I played a fuckload of VR games this week. I played so many VR games this week, I had to stop because I was going cross-eyed.
Literally? Like literally?
Yeah, like my right eye was like, it didn't feel good, so I stopped playing. Yeah.
For the audio listeners, John just got very Popeye on us. So
I did. I can't do Popeye. I can do a lot of impersonations, but Popeye ain't one of them.
That's fair.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of meth and a lot of blow to do a proper Popeye impression, you know.
We at Gamerhead Radio do not endorse doing meth or blow.
Neither do I, for fuck's sakes. Jesus Christ.
Just not together.
Yeah, that's it.
At the same time, that's the important thing. Just not just
go.
Yes.
Everything in moderation, children. So, yeah,
One
that's
or the other, never together.
That's right. That's all I had time for this week. Charlie, what about you?
The only game I got to spend some time with was Rise of the Tomb Raider, like Goat, but Goat is much farther than me, so there's not much I can say about it that he hasn't already said. I'm definitely enjoying.
Where are you?
I am. Let's see.
Did you find the guy with the animal problem we talked about last week?
I'm not. When you say animal problem, I must have assumed I must assume that that I've run into who you're talking about, but I'm not sure what you mean when you say animal problem.
He had a den that he needed
Oh,
exterminated.
yes. I did run into the guy that needed the wolf den cleared out.
Yeah.
And then
It's an animal problem.
I suppose it is. I was not quite thinking about it along those lines. And then no, I'm beyond there. I've run into the kind of the male side character that you run into in the facility that you find yourself in, and I've gone through like this is ambiguous. I've gone through the train yard section, and I'm now in the I'm just after the whole train yard section. So
that's where I stopped. Actually, I stopped in the train yard section.
Yeah. Okay, I know where you're at.
Yeah.
You're
so
not far.
I'm going through like a mine to try and get somewhere.
Yep. You're not far.
Jeff, have your guys, since we talked about it last week, have your guys' opinions at all changed on the game, or how are you guys feeling about it at this point?
The same. Yeah, no, it's an evolutionary iterative update of the last one. Nothing too special about it, I don't think. But previously I did mention the cards, and I've come to realize that the cards have absolutely nothing to do with the main game. That they're only have to do with like those like survival modes or whatever they are. So it doesn't look like that's nothing I'll be really
off the table, huh?
Yeah. So, just because you know me, I go through the story and then I go into the next story. But yeah, no. No, on the whole, I'm still enjoying the hell out of it. It's one of the few games Michelle actually really enjoys, like watching me play. There are certain games that she has no interest in watching, especially like first-person shooters and things like that. But like the Uncharted games and the Tomb Raider games and things like that, like she really enjoys watching because they're gorgeous and they're just fun to watch. But yeah, that was the only game I got to spend time with this week. The rest of my time has all been putting into my cross-country beer and pony sojourn that I'm going to be taking on next week. Coming off of that, before we get into news, in case you missed it last week, a couple of programming notes. First of all, anybody who's watching the show, please join the Hangout and contribute and chat along. We're keeping an eye on the YouTube comments and in the Hangout Q&A section. Sean Winterreeve has already asked what the subject of the show is. Sean, later we're going to be, after the news, we're going to be talking about VR headsets. But we'll be getting to that later. Also, for the viewers, you may or may not have noticed that last week's show ran kind of long because we made the awful, horrible mistake of making sure to pay careful and close attention to every single one of your comments.
Yeah. Because normally when we record the show, we'll get 6, 10, 12, mailbag responses from people. But you guys were pretty rad last week and gave us this, like, fucking landslide of stuff to do. And given that we're a live show, we're just not used to it, like, on the spot like that. So I think the point that Charlie's trying to make is...
So please do what you did last week and comment and chat and everything. But if we don't address something that you put up in the chat, it's nothing personal. We to keep from having another 3-hour show, because that's what it was. We're just going to have to pick and choose a little bit the comments that we reply to. But feel free to contribute anyways, and we'll do the best we can to respond to everything that you guys put in there. And then aside from that, for the next 2 shows, I am going to be traveling across this great continent of ours, and drinking lots of beer and hanging out with pony folk in the process. And so next week's show will hopefully be around the same time as this one, 8 p.m. Central, on Sunday evening, give or take. You just keep an eye on our social media feeds to find out exactly when that might be, because I will be in a hotel somewhere. I'm actually not even sure where yet. And then the week following that, the recording might. We're not sure what day that'll be happening on, because at this time, 2 weeks from now, I will be driving back, and so I won't be able to do the show from my car, probably. But at the very least, because I don't have an unlimited data plan. So we might be recording on a different day or a different time to be able to have the show happen that week. But we're going to do everything we can to make it happen. So yes. All those things, but
keep them coming. We want to hear from you guys any and every time we can. We just don't want to, by proxy of making sure we tend to everybody, we don't want to punish the people who don't want to sit here for 3 hours or listen to the recorded version of the show for 3 hours and listen to that. So if we don't get to your comment, come back next week. Keep commenting. Always comment. I'm sure we'll get to you sooner or later. We want to make sure everybody gets heard.
Yes, absolutely.
I can sum this up perfectly, gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, there was a weird thing. We love you, but we also love an hour and a half show.
Yes, that's all of that.
That's our ideal time, is to do an hour and a half show for you guys.
90 minutes of the three of us yapping at you is more than any person should be subjected to.
So, with that being said, now that you know what we did in the last week of video gaming, let's find out what the industry did the last week in video gaming.
Yay!
Oh, that was a flub. Did the golden child just fall from grace?
No.
I blame that on Stone Russian Imperial Stout, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, turn your strobes on the back there, Charlie.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's storming out where we're recording, and it's just like I can see nothing but like thunder and lightning behind you, Charlie. It's crazy.
Charlie's
I brought my own light show.
Thunder show. Yeah, he's actually at the Country Thunder show. He's not going to tell you that, but he's a LD fan.
No, just no. All of that, no. So, John, what do we have in the news this week?
We've got a mixed bag of news this week. Now, there were a few things that were hardware related that have come out in the last couple weeks that I'm gonna refrain from talking about because we're just a few weeks away from E3 and they're gonna be talking about a lot of this stuff. So, in lieu of that, I went with things that are just general industry information for the week for you guys. So the first headline for the week is admins of the shutdown World of Warcraft Blizzard server, or non-Blizzard server, the fan server that we talked about last week. Turns out that they got enough petition signatures that they're going to go and speak to Blizzard. Blizzard is actually going to meet with them to talk about the future of potentially running a fan-owned vanilla server. So that's a bit of an update from last week's episode, but that's kind of cool, man. I think. No. What do you mean no?
No, Blizzard's gonna talk to them and be like, so $14.99 a month, and we get our cut.
No. See, I don't think that's the case at all, because if you remember from the story we talked about before, Blizzard shut them down and said, no, you're possibly taking revenue out of our pockets. No, you can't do it. That's all they had to say. That's all they had to have their legal department say. If they're willing to actually meet with these people, it may be to discuss some sort of middle ground for them where everybody wins. Yeah. At least I hope so anyways. What do you guys think?
Yeah. A subscription service, and Blizzard wants to talk about their cut.
I mean, maybe there's that too.
I mean,
it would kind of be unprecedented if they did.
That's the thing. Yeah, well, that. And plus, I can't find any angle aside from goodwill for Blizzard to want to do this. I mean, like their subscription numbers have been dropping like flies, and so like to be able to provide a place for people to leave their $14.99 a month subscription model and go to this other thing, why would they facilitate that?
Well, yeah. Here's what they're talking about. A lot of people are speculating. The development team that put these fan servers together, if you recall, the server itself was called Nostalrius, and so that's kind of what people are referring to them as, the Nostalrius team. A lot of people are anticipating that what this means is that Nostalrius team is meeting with Blizzard so that Blizzard can hire them to run vanilla servers that people can pay to just play the vanilla version of the game if they don't want to play all the crazy shit that they've added since. Because there are a lot of people who liked the game the way it was when it launched and don't like a lot of the changes they've made. So there's a discussion about hiring a team to focus specifically on doing that for them, paying them to do that, and not only everybody wins then because they're employed by Blizzard, and Blizzard gets 100% of the proceeds, and the vanilla people who want to play still pay a subscription cost to do it.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Then they have to pay those people. Why
That's
don't they
what
just
I'm saying.
contract them out?
Maybe
that's
what they're going to do,
and take their money and have them pay themselves and keep it off Blizzard's books except for positive income.
Maybe. Do you guys think, one way or the other, whatever the outcome is, do you think that this is a smart move on Blizzard's behalf? Or are they, bad stuff?
Retro gaming is huge.
What's that?
Just to meet with them?
Yeah, to sit down and talk with them about the future of this stuff.
I mean, conversation is always a good idea in almost every situation. So yeah, that much is a fantastic idea. I just don't quite. I anticipate a lot of. I don't think anything's. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm on the fence because John, you make a good argument there. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I'll be curious to see which way this goes.
Mm-hmm. I as somebody who's played a lot of MMOs, I hope that they can find a way to make this, to put these servers back on, and find a middle ground so everybody wins. Because realistically, I mean, what's the worst that happens? You're giving somebody an alternative to the version of the game that they're playing now. And a lot of the people who work with Nostralia's, part of their point is that the game has changed so much. I mean, literally, if you remember, I told you in Cataclysm, they completely updated the original game and changed the landscapes and broke things and destroyed whole sections to make it look updated for that story. A lot of people who work for Nostralia's are saying that they're trying to preserve a chunk of gaming history because World of Warcraft as it is not what it was at all. And I can verify that having played it's drastically different in those zones. So they were kind of saying that part of it was to preserve the way it was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm with them.
go ahead. Go, sorry.
Oh, you can pause. I'm with them. Retro gaming's in right now, and this is a retro MMO, and they'll make money off of the Glory Day kids and the nostalgia kids. And I use kids really wrong because those people are probably in their mid-30s. But
It's true. Probably. I'm actually pretty certain that would be the majority of the player base at this point. At least a chunk of it.
Ricky Keller asks a pretty good question here. He says, as gamers, if you guys hadn't played any WoW before, would you find yourself more inclined to play on the vanilla server as opposed to Blizzard's live servers, or the other way around? Well, my answer is easy, no, because I don't play MMOs. But I'm the wrong person to ask that question to. So what do you guys?
What do you go? What about you?
well, I haven't played WoW before, other than like 10 minutes on a friend's server going, no, I'm good. I would probably want to start, probably vanilla and work my way up and start at the beginning of the game and work my way through it.
I gotta be honest with you.
It would make more sense that way to me instead of jumping into the end of a game.
It would make perfect sense.
Yeah, to start where everybody else did and work your way up through the lore and be up to speed.
Because that's where I started. I started playing WoW inside of its first, I think, probably 6 or 8 months. And you could totally play the game as it is now and start from one, and it would be fine. But if you start from vanilla, and because they've largely changed some of the quests that were taken out, you can't ever play again. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to start there. Plus, I think the original level cap was like, I think it was 60.
Yep.
55 or 60. It was 60.
It was 60.
It's now 105. I think, if I remember right. If I remember correctly.
They go 10 levels every expansion, I thought.
And I have, I think, a level 90 character, and so for the average person coming in, like, I'm sure it's intimidating. So yeah, I would say if they do launch these vanilla servers again, do that. Yeah, if you've never played WoW and you want to play it, start there. It's cool.
Well, I mean, John, you can relate. You're playing Diablo 3 with a bunch of people that are way over your level.
Oh my god, it's crazy, man. Like, way over my level. It's fun, though.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody who gets intimidated by level caps, don't be. It's not about the level cap. You know, look at it like this, and there's more content there for you. There's more content in World of Warcraft than you probably play in, 20 retail games you buy brand new that have a beginning and an end like that, Even if you reach the end of the content, like at this point, the amount of content in that game is obscene. It's just crazy. So, yeah, that's my feeling on that, Ricky.
Okay, thanks, Ricky, for the question.
Yeah.
And hello, real quick, to Chaos is Undead. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Oh, that's Chris. That's my buddy Chris. He's a special engine that forgets what time things are, even though he has the internet.
Moving on to number 4 for the week. So it seems that No Man's Sky is going to have a bunch of lore in it. They addressed the early concerns that it would just be a big, giant, empty universe with nothing to do in it. So they're writing some lore and some story to flesh out the universe. And in order to do this, Hello Games' Sean Murray has contracted and is working with a Star Trek writer and one of the Watchmen co-creators to help craft the game's lore. That is a hell of a pedigree for a space game. As it turns out, it's Dave Gibbons, who is the one of 2 halves of the creative team for Watchmen, who did a little bit of the art and the writing, some of the writing with Alan Moore on Watchmen. This is good news, man, because for all the interest that I had in this game, I was a little concerned as well that it was just going to be big empty nothingness all the time, with nothing to do on a story level. Does hearing that there's more story content in this change your perspective on or your want to play the game at all, guys?
It takes me from a 0 to about a 4.
Really? Despite what you know about this game and the way that it's built and designed, you don't have any interest in this game?
That's what was driving me away. It's the game that never ends.
Wow. No, to be
This
clear,
is
Sean Murray said it
again
does
that
end. He said it does end.
Well,
You go to the center of the universe. That's
my
the
friend.
goal is to see what's waiting for you when you get to
yes,
the middle.
and that might work great for a person who doesn't have OCD and needs to go explore every single planet, which is impossible. So, I mean, sure, I'm sure it has an ending, like a game of solitaire has an ending. You're just gonna play it again, or do it all over again, or something like that. And
Charlie,
yeah,
Charlie,
uh-huh.
you can do this. You
Uh-huh.
skipped missions in Metal Gear,
Just the optional
and
ones.
we're okay with it.
Just the optional.
Just the replay.
And I'm
It's only because they said that they're optional.
And I'm
that
sure-
Charlie feels okay with it. They didn't. You know what? They didn't have those little yellow dots next to
Yeah,
it. So
those-
they're not important.
Freaking yellow dots.
I'm sure this will have optional planets you can skip.
Yeah, you can skip every single planet you want, and except for the ones you absolutely need, because he said you will have to continue to travel forward to continue to travel forward.
So that's the thing. I mean, it's just like the fact that we now know something about this game's story, as opposed to before we knew nothing about this game's story, is why it takes me from a 0 to a 4.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that is a giant leap forward. It's still not in the it's still on the lower end of my spectrum, but still, the fact that I have any interest at all now is something. I think.
So the other part of the creative pool for this is James Swallow, and he's the one who's primarily writing the lore for the universe. Dave Gibbons, while he has done writing in his career, is primarily an artist. So James Swallow and Dave Gibbons are working together on a comic book that's going to come packaged with the collector's edition, and that's going to be, I think, the beginning. They're implying is going to be the beginning of where you kind of can see some of the lore, some of the story-related stuff that doesn't just have to do with this like massive, endless universe. So. Good talent, because James Swallow has worked on top of Star Trek. He's also worked on Deus Ex and Warhammer 40K. So he's got a really good writing pedigree too, and some respectable things to go off of. So I mean, this is good talent for this project. I think as far as art goes, Dave Gibbons is a huge get, man. It's a big name in the world of comic books. So very cool.
Yeah. Bill, where do you sit on No Man's Sky?
I mean, it looks fun, and I'll probably get it just because I'll get a PS4 first, but I don't know. I'm into those like weird wander around. I play Minecraft, so like put me in space and let me wander around. Sure, I'm okay with it. But I mean, we'll have to see more before I run right out and buy like the limited edition or something.
Yeah. I definitely I will be, when more news does eventually come out, I will be paying attention to it, but right now it's still not really on my to buy radar. I will be paying attention. That's fine.
Right on. All right, well, go ahead and move on to number 3 this week. I'm going to do a little screen sharing here in just a second, but you ladies and gentlemen have a new Tomb Raider star. They were talking some weeks ago about using Daisy Ridley to fill those shoes. Obviously, hot on the heels of her popularity with Star Wars, but for whatever reason, that has fallen through, and they're not going to work with her. Instead, they're going to be using Alicia Vikander, who is the star, one of the stars of Ex Machina, and one of the stars of, or the star of The Danish Girl as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a photograph here and show you guys what we got here. This is the young lady who is going to be playing our new Lara Croft. What do you guys think? Think she looks right for the role?
She needs to bulk up.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't particularly think that Lara Croft is a terribly bulky person in terms of her design.
She's got little, and this may sound sexist, I'm okay with it, but she has girl arms. Like, Laura's got some definition. She went to the gym.
I would like to think that she does, man. But here's the thing, too. You got to consider the fact that almost every time you see a photograph of a star who gets cast for a character that they maybe only just resemble in passing, the studio always works with them. You should see what Chris Hemsworth looked like before he actually made it to the screen as Thor. He was this big around. He was a really skinny guy. Like, if you ever seen his brother Liam Hemsworth, it's a very svelte guy, very lean guy. That's exactly how Chris Hemsworth was. They beefcaked the shit out of him to play Thor. He doesn't look like that normally. Okay. Yeah, so I have a feeling they'll make her look the part of the role. But she's a good actress too, though. So I expect that this is
start a Gamerhead movie. Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard good things. I've been meaning to watch Ex Machina. I haven't yet. I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would love it from everything that I've heard. But I've heard good things about her performance in that. Generally speaking, I do think she looks good enough for the role. I guess. I mean, the resemblance to I mean, the video game version of Lara Croft has changed 20 dozen times over the years. Of course, the Lara Croft we have now in the two newest iterations is the one that I prefer the most because she's the most realistic looking and proportioned. But
I'm still mad she didn't get another size in the new one. They broke that chain.
Moving on. That's our goat. So I think Alicia looks close enough, and it sounds like her abilities are there. So I'll just be. It's going to be all about I'm much less concerned about her than I am over everything else having to do with the movie.
See, I got the same feeling. I want there to be a decent Tomb Raider movie because realistically, like if you look at Tomb Raider, was Tomb Raider ever like was it ever a particularly intelligent story? Not really. In most cases, actually probably the most intelligent one in that series was the last one, the first Tomb Raider reboot game. The rest of them were never good games. They were supposed to. They were the video game equivalent of like popcorn flicks, man. They were big dumb action games. They were kind of silly and goofy, honestly. And in most cases, I think most people appreciated the game because it was. If you were around when the first Tomb Raider came out, and I'm making myself sound old as shit, but when you first played that was. The amount of travel space you were given was considered very free, and the exploration was kind of somewhat unprecedented at the time. It was a very open game. And so I think that's what did it for a lot of people. It innovated something and didn't really do anything new, I guess, in the world of video games. Jumping, running, shooting, platforming,
Do you? I suppose that, given especially the actress's age, that this is going to also be the reboot of the film version now of the reboot of Lara Croft and Tomb Raider.
If they're smart, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I that was a good enough game that if they trim the fat out of that story and turn it into a survival. I mean, look, Leonardo DiCaprio just won an Oscar for Revenant. If you take the gritty survival side of Tomb Raider and apply that to a film with a good actress. Could do wonders for the license. I think if they're smart, they'll do it that way.
And for video game movies on a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We could use that hero flick.
I mean, don't lose the supernatural angle of it that normally comes with these games. That like Indiana Jones style, like always maybe a sense of the supernatural adventure. Don't lose the tomb rating, I guess, as it were. Yeah. But grit it up a little bit. Take it seriously.
I'm over with that idea.
Yes. Tomb Raider, rise to the box office. Make it happen.
There you go. Moving on to number 2 for the week. We knew this was coming. We talked about it a while back on the show, but as of this past week, officially, Lionhead Studios is no more.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So for those of you who are maybe not aware, Lionhead is probably most well known for the Fable games. They're probably just as well known for Fable as they are for their proprietors' shenanigans when it comes to not delivering on promises made in development crunch time. Peter Molyneux is the person who developed those games primarily and never, ever finished things on time and would probably only deliver about 40% of what he promised. Very big dreamer, ambitious guy. I think maybe he always got too excited and was so excited to share what he was thinking that he would make promises he couldn't keep all the time, and he had a little bit of a legacy for that. But I mean, this was a 20-year-old studio. They did a lot of great things. One of the IPs I remember that they were popular for before Fable existed was Black and White, which was primarily a PC title. Actually, it may have been just a PC-only title, if I remember correctly.
So real quick, just because it's relevant to that comment, John, and also what we were just coming off of.
Yes.
I'm actually looking at a list on Wikipedia, and the list of canceled titles, which does, to be fair, include just simply ports of other titles, but still, the list of canceled things is almost as long as the list of released things.
There were a lot of things that they were working on.
Yeah, so Black and White did come out on Windows and Mac, but it was announced but then canceled for PlayStation and Dreamcast. And then the sequel, Titan, was announced and then canceled for Xbox and PlayStation 2. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of cancellation.
They also did this really kind of neat little game at the time that it came out that was just on the PC as well, that I played quite a bit of when it came out. It was a game called The Movies, and it was done in the style of a game like The Sims, but you were a movie studio owner, and you had to build a movie studio, and you had to hire actors and audition them, and then you got, what was neat about it is they put in this it was like a faux movie editor where you could take pre-prepared scenes. They had like sci-fi scenes, action scenes, drama scenes, comedies, romances, and they would take those things and then they would do all different things. Like you could do black and white filters. You could make, oh shit, my brain's not working properly. You could make movies that had no, like before you could talk in movies. I don't remember silent films. So you could do silent films. In that style and put little like black and white place cards up with the words on them and pick them. You could pick the music, you could pick the costumes they were wearing. It was really neat, and if you go to YouTube, you can actually find some of the little edits that people made. You can write the little dialogue and the dialogue bubbles and stuff. You can actually find little short movies that people made with this game that existed in a pre-YouTube kind of world. It was when YouTube was not a socially relevant beast. So it was neat to see stuff like this, and playing the game was fun. I'd be curious to see if it was still any fun to play, but that was a really awesome game that they made.
Yeah, I didn't. I've heard about that. I never played it though.
Yeah, they did do a sequel to Black and White too, but nobody bought that one.
Yeah. So Black and White came out in 2001. Fable 2004. Black and White 2 was 2005. Movies was also 2005. And then Fable 2 2008. Fable 3 2010. And then Fables that nobody played. But yeah.
Yeah. Another one bites the dust, gentlemen, and it's a sad one to see go because even though Peter Molyneux was a little bit crazy sometimes, you can't say that whatever did make it to release was not always fairly original and did not always have some really well thought and well intended ideas. Man, I wish gaming had more of that still.
Yeah, well, let's ask the resident Fable fan in the room. Goat, does this news surprise you?
No, not really, given that the Fable Legends was a train wreck upon a train wreck, followed by, and it was precursed by 1, 2, 3 train wrecks before that. Like after Fable 3, they were just literally throwing darts at a board and trying to be like, what are we going to name it next Fable? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe make Fable 4. And they didn't. They made all these like ideas that like could have been mini games in Fable 4, but they made them entire games.
So as far as those go, did you play Fable Heroes?
Yep.
And that was not good?
It was the best of the 3 options. The worst was that Connect Fable Journeys. That was trifle at best.
It was a Connect Tech demo. That's really all it was, But I mean, so was pretty much anything that came out for the Connect at that time, if we're being honest.
Yeah. And then Fable Anniversary was the last one.
And that was disappointing because they literally just polished the turd and they didn't even fix it. Like,
jeez.
Like it was busted in the first one, right? I get that. Like, it was Xbox
sad,
original.
Man.
Yeah, and they polished it up real nice. They didn't even fix any of the bugs. The same bugs were in there that were in there 10 years ago. I'm like what the fuck, guys? Like, it's an anniversary edition. Like, I don't know. Take some time and work on it and fix like the shit that you know is wrong with it.
Just pretend that you care, just a little tiny bit.
Otherwise, your game studio is going to close because you tried to paint a turd pink.
Yeah.
No, let's be fair though. That game shows its age because of the time that it came from. But the first Fable was really well received and really well reviewed, and it was actually a pretty original game.
Well, yeah, that was great back then. But if you're gonna re-release it, fix it.
Yeah. And I mean, like the game that the original Fable was absolutely nothing like what was promised. Like nothing, even close.
Oh no, not even close. They cut so much out of it.
No. But he's also been that guy we know, where like Fable 3, you were supposed to be able to like build a fucking empire or Sim City, have sex with a robot, birth a rocket and then kill God, and that was just the first press release. And what we got in Fable 3 was none of that. We got you can be the king. I think that's the only thing we got out of that entire game that he actually said we were going to get.
Yeah.
That wasn't like the normal game.
Look, I will forever think that the Fable 2, for me personally, was the highlight of that series. I enjoyed it the best. Even though there were some great things in the third Fable, some great ideas, the implementation of them was not that great. It felt rushed to me.
John, I agree with you. Fable 2 is my favorite as well.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
2 is going to leave a sour taste in my mouth because the ending was the biggest middle finger I've gotten in gaming.
No, it was. To be fair, the ending was an insult, but the rest of the game I think was superior to the other two.
Ricky asked us the question.
I like 3 more.
Ricky Keller has asked us a question pertaining to this conversation, which I feel is a good question. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of answer this.
Fine. Butt in here, Ricky.
Ricky asked, do you guys think it's a better idea to go the direction they did with different game types and styles? Maybe they just had poor execution, he implies. Or do you typically prefer iterations of the same type of games, Assassin's Creed style? I would have said Assassin's Creed style a few years ago, several Assassin's Creeds ago, but now I have seen how that's gone. Even with all of their failures, I would rather them have failed on the attempt at new ideas than to keep just putting the same thing out over and over and over. Personally, that's me.
You're damn right you're sorry, Ricky. Sorry. I mean, I would rather Fable 4. Like I said, I'd rather have Fable 4 than with the ideas from the other, from other styles of games put into it. But I mean, like, I don't know. You play Fable for the Fable. You don't play the Fable for the kart racer version.
Well, to be fair, they didn't quite do anything that off the wall, I don't think. But
yet,
yeah,
give them time.
Well, so that's gonna be my next question, but just to give my 2 cents on Ricky's question, I think trying different things is I think it's what it comes down to is if you're really good at doing the one thing, then just do the one thing. I think you should try doing the different things. If you're not so good at doing the one thing, that you should try other things to find the thing that you are really good at. And so, I think that, like in the case of Assassin's Creed, I feel that they are good enough. But the issues with the Assassin's Creed, history has been that's widely known in terms of quality and things like that, which it seems like with the last iteration that they've caught up on. But it seems like for the most part they're really good at doing the one thing, and so like in the case of Assassin's Creed, I don't mind them doing that. In the case of Fable, I feel like they were doing well enough with just doing the one thing that splitting off and trying these different things, I think in their particular case was a mistake because, well, they didn't appear to be very good at doing those other things. So I think that's what it comes down to. Like in the case of, it takes a very unique and especially talented development studio. I think, like in the case of Nintendo, for example, to take Mario and to make a Mario game in like pretty much every single possible genre and like just anything, every sport, every activity, everything that you could possibly think of, and still have them be decent games, at the very least. And
Mario's not that deep.
Well, this is true. So maybe that's what makes it easy. I'm not sure. Well, I think
he's just a mascot.
Sorry, but I do think no, you're fine. But I think the talent and skill of the developers, the people making the game, is what's paramount here. And so it's the people who were behind Fable and behind Assassin's Creed. I think were pretty good at making those things that they started making and continued to make. I think it's when you branch out, like Assassin's Creed Chronicles, not so good. These other Fable things, not so good. And so maybe just stick to what you're good at, I guess, is what I'm saying. Unless you're really, 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 really sure that you can be good at other things, because otherwise you're just muddying the waters of your brand and your reputation.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't think I can say anything better about it, Charlie. So given that is the case, I was getting to that, goddammit, folks. Moving on to number 1 for the week. So every year the Entertainment Software Association, who represents video gaming in Washington, D.C., posts a report. They do this yearly that kind of breaks down gaming and entertainment, electronic entertainment in the household for the government, and then they publish this report publicly for people to check out. One of the things that was highlighted and noted from that report this week was that they say that inside of the next 12 months, 40% of gamers will buy a VR headset, which is awfully convenient because after this we're going to be talking about VR. But I found this to be fascinating as hell. Now, to kind of break down further for you guys, when they say that 40% of gamers are going to be doing this, 40% of gamers break out like this. Right now, the ESA says that 63% of all United States households have at least one gamer in it. That's a pretty big amount of people when you consider 63% of American households.
What do they consider a gamer?
They define that as someone who plays video games 3 hours or more per week.
What do they quantify as a video game? Yeah.
They do not specify. So they do break down some numbers. Each household has an average of 1.7 gamers. 65% of households own a device used to play games, but they don't specify what the device is. Only about 48% of homes own a dedicated game console. So that means a lot of people either play on PCs or mobile devices. So they are factoring all of those platforms in. They are including mobile devices.
See, your crazy aunt who plays bingo on Facebook counts.
Yeah, see, but you know what? The reason that that's a completely valid argument for this conversation is that this phone is the only passport I have into VR right now, which we will save that discussion for the feature, but I can understand why they're including mobile because Gear VR does account for a large portion of the VR because this article does say 40% of gamers will buy a VR headset in the next year. They don't specify which. They're just saying a. That could be a cardboard unit for all we know.
Right.
But it's still, given that we are literally 6 weeks away out from the official launch of the big VR headsets here, not counting the Gear VR. Like we're only a year into VR being publicly available if you count the Gear VR. That's a 40% of 63% of all American households having at least one person is a pretty substantial number for a technology that's in its infancy, no?
No.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we're certainly a pretty good sample set here because all 100% of Gamerhead Radio owns a VR headset. So, it's and in terms of our mailbag question this week speaks exactly to this very topic, and so we'll touch on that a little bit later. But I think if they truly do hit 40% penetration on what they the term is market penetration. That's what it is. God, children I'm working with here. So
I know he's an adult. He's a full-grown goat. I can see his horns.
Oh, that's amazing. Children who grow this, I'd like to meet.
That's called a hormone problem. That's a glandular.
And I would like to meet any man who does not giggle at penetration in any situation.
Hello. I know what it. Yeah.
I said man. I said man.
That's fair. So, anyways, damn you all. So for them to hit 40% market saturation.
There you go.
I think is a perfectly realistic and perfectly attainable goal.
I think that's great too.
Yeah, the fact that they have penetrated 40% of the market and safely is amazing.
At least he said it with a straight face. So what I'm gonna point out to you guys too is there's a lot more information in this report. They go into pretty specific detail about different things. I'm gonna share a copy of the link to the report to my co-hosts here, just for their personal use, so they can have it for whenever they want to take a look at it. But you guys will be able to find this link inside of the news story that's published on the GamerheadRadio.com website when we post our news stories. Charlie, we're still posting news stories up there, aren't we?
In the comments?
On the website, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And what I'll actually do right now is I will take that link that John just sent me and I will post it on the YouTube comments page right now for anybody who's curious to listen.
So anybody who wants to check it out, feel free. There's a lot of information in there. It's neat. But we have a comment from a first-time live viewer. So Cal Davis says, "Greetings, guys. First time tuning in, actually during the show, and what a show to catch a good discussion." Yes, what a show to catch indeed. Welcome, Cal. Thanks for listening to the old recordings, and also thank you for watching the live show now.
Hi, Cal.
I know
Heck
we said
no.
we weren't going to perpetuate everybody's commentary, but this I have to do this. Ricky commented by saying
Okay.
that Goat is going to ride that joke all night. He can already tell. So I just needed
Oh
to.
wow.
We need to keep the dick train moving. That's
Wow.
for sure.
That's a bold statement, Mr. Keller.
Goat and also
I am actually going to dismount that market comment and move on with my life.
Hey, just real quick while it's semi-relevant, Goat, could I ask you to please share the name of your character that you created in DC Online?
Yes.
Oh yes, my DC superhero, well, supervillain. His mentor's a Joker. I tried to put my name in there and they wouldn't like allow it, so I decided to be like, fuck it, let's see what they let fly. So my superhero is Richard Train.
Yes. We need to get a
We call
screenshot of
him
that
Dick
Goat.
for short.
Yeah. Between now and next week, you have a homework assignment. You need to, when you
Oh,
can
yeah.
get into the game, you need to take a screenshot of Richard Train so that we can
Yes.
share your vision of the Dick Train personified for people watching and listening. So
I just found it funny that they wouldn't let me name him Goat. They were like, that's
Yeah.
invalid. But
Yeah.
Richard Train was completely fine.
Even better, maybe we can get some of our viewers and listeners to jump in and play DC Universe Online with us for free once
Yes.
the queues die down a little bit,
Yeah.
so that you can say that you battled the Dick Train with the Dick Train in person, live in person. Oh yeah, I was there. I battled. I wrestled the Dick Train. Wrestled him
Yes.
around.
Yes. You can fondle
you
the
guys
Dick
are-
Train for $14.99.
Oh boy, you guys are talking me into playing this game.
That is a low price. $14.99 to ride the Dick Train, Goat.
Yeah.
Christ.
Mhm. Yes.
Have
That
you?
all depends on what neighborhood you're in, John.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And whatever neighborhood Goat is in, the cost of real estate goes down. That's it.
We've lost viewers during the course of this conversation.
No, there's commentary coming in. Choo, choo.
No, I'm looking at the number.
That's right.
We're driving people away.
All
So
right.
we should probably
Okay, all right. Let's get back
In that
on the
case,
rails.
then I'm going to go ahead and call it. News is done for the week. Charlie,
Yes. What?
the
Yes.
news is over. It's
Oh
your
my gosh.
show.
Boy,
Live
that
from
actually-
Nowhere Man Land, Charlie's going to
from
make a
Studio
bad segue.
Technotronicorn.
I'd rather not cover my studio and vomit. Never do that again.
Fair. Okay, so virtual reality headsets. For our feature for the week, we want to talk a little bit about virtual reality headsets. Thank you, beer. We touched on the topic a long time ago, and it's actually what yes, Goat is currently holding up his chosen purchase. It is a virtual reality headset, which may look familiar to a watcher if he's watching. Hi, Danny.
Yes, I did steal it from him.
Well, this thing's actually technically a part of Gamerhead Radio history. So, because anybody that listened to the episode that we first did where we talked about virtual reality, I think it was April last year. So it was like almost exactly a year ago. Goat has the Innovator Edition, which is the very first version of the Gear VR that came out, and he purchased that from Mr. Danny Waskow, who was the one that was on the show with us and talked about the unit with us. This thing is the very unit that we tried in the studio at that time. And it is a different unit than the one that Charlie and I have for a specific reason, which I'm sure we'll break down.
But that's where it all we started there, and we'll continue there.
Yeah. So the episode in question is episode number 105. Recorded on March 17th, and it was entitled "Virtually Our Best Episode Ever." It's also one of our most listened to episodes. I think.
So it holds true.
Yes, as a matter of fact. Well, the one contender it may have, I'm checking to see that. No, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Jen Blake, if you're watching. Our episode with you is our second most popular episode, it seems. Our VR episode is apparently our most popular episode. So it is actually and virtually our best episode ever, at least according to us.
So when they come out with a Lego game on VR, we will just break the records.
So I'm not sure what you call that. Predictive advertising? I'm not sure what that's called. But anyways, so it's been over a year since we initially had our big discussion about virtual reality headsets, and now that we all actually own one of these pieces of plastic, We figured we would revisit the topic, especially now that the Oculus Rift and the Vive are both out and the PlayStation VR is announced, and so like the major players are either in or aware of and like established in the marketplace, and so we figured it was a good time to revisit and just kind of see where we all are, where we all fall on the spectrum of what we think about virtual reality.
It's crazy to think that a year ago we were looking at Danny with that crazy look of like, what kind of fandangle technology you have, and now it's like the most common buzzword on the internet.
Yeah, no, for sure. What I would say is that I mentioned before that when I got my Gear VR, I pretty much didn't take it off of my face for like the first week that I got it, and I go back to it every chance that I get, but overall, my impression of especially what this little $99 gadget, which to be fair, is a very small amount of electronics around a plastic frameless of lenses. So I mean, like they're still making a profit off of it. The guts are all in the phone, to be sure. But for what they're able to cram into that device and what they're able to charge for it, I think it is just mad impressive.
It is very impressive.
It's way cheaper than an Oculus.
The one that Charlie and I have, this is the second edition of the Gear VR. It is, what do they call this thing?
It's just the Gear VR.
It's Gear VR, yeah. There's no edition. It's just a standard, and it's pretty basic. So you've got a touchpad on the side here. That's I would liken to a mouse pad, like on a laptop, and you can tap it to do things. There's a back button right here that you can either press once or long press. There's a faceplate on the front that nobody fucking uses because it traps heat into your phone. For anybody who's concerned about whether your phone will fall out, no, it will not. There is a little mounting bracket here that has it's like the charging port at the bottom of your phone. But this little piece over here is what keeps your phone from falling out. Once you pop that into place, it holds it in. So you can look in any direction and it won't fall out. You can pop it out by mistake if you're rough with the front of your phone. I don't know why you would be doing that while you're using it. There's a focus wheel on the top so that whoever's wearing it can focus it to the liking of their vision. The lenses on the interior, and then between the lenses, this little rectangle is it's a light sensor. So it only starts if you have no light in it.
It's a proximity sensor to be
that's right, proximity sensor, that's correct. And then this little thing here, this is actually an external charging port, so you can charge your phone while you're playing, which is pretty damn rad.
Yeah, which is by far the biggest improvement made to this model. So to be super specific, yes. There were actually two versions of the Innovator Edition. The first one is the one that Goat has, and that's the one for the Note 4. The second one that came out was only for the S6 and the S6 Edge. And only worked with those particular models. And then the one that John and I have, which is just considered the consumer edition, is the current and third model, and that's the one that works with the also the S6 Edge, the S6 Edge, the Plus, the Note 5, the S7, and the S7 Edge.
Right here, there's a little A and B, and I have mine set to, what is it set to? It's set to B right now. So B fits I have an S6, it fits the S6, and if you pop it to your left, back in the other direction, you can literally just pull it back into place. You'll hear it like click. Then it'll fit a Note 4 or a Note 5.
Note 5 only.
Yeah. Oh, Note 5? Really?
Note 5 only. Yes. As far as the large format phones, it's the Note 5 or the S6 Edge Plus, which is the same generation as the Note 5.
And then I forgot. There's a volume rocker on the side. So.
Yeah. But yeah. So the main reason that I don't use my headset more is because of John, what you just said, and that's that even on this edition, heat is still a problem. And if you're playing games that are relatively simple and don't require a lot of graphics processing power, you're for the most part you're okay. But anything that takes a lot of GPU rendering, like you're playing like a 3D world or something like that, inevitably your phone will overheat and you'll get a message on your screen telling you that you have to stop playing. And that is it is better as I understand it. They have improved it in the iterations from the Innovator editions, but still it doesn't take long. And it is actually kind of baffling to me that this came out on November 20th of 2015, and still there are a couple like 3D printed designs that you can go on the websites if you have a 3D printer and make, and then like go buy little fans and attach them. But nobody is actually mass manufacturing a shroud to put on the top of it with a little battery powered fan to put on it. Because I think that would make all the difference in the world.
Oh yeah, probably.
Nobody makes that.
Now, I mean, to be clear, you can do kind of damage control on the heat. For anybody who does get one, my biggest suggestion to you is there's like a little internal screen, like a subsystem of the home screen that you can go into where there's a few options. I don't put my brightness above 40%, and trust me, you won't need to because you're in an enclosed space with a screen in front of your face. You won't even notice that it's not that bright. I actually found the higher brightness levels to be obnoxious. Yeah. But anything over 40%, the longest I've been able to get out of that phone, if I weren't playing a heavily graphically intensive game or something that has a lot of physics in there, which will kind of bog it down and overheat, I've been able to play it for an hour and 15 minutes without having to stop.
Yeah, okay.
That was the longest I went, but on average I would say 45 to 50 minutes. Yeah. And I'll say the same thing to you guys that Danny told us when we first played with it. You trust me, no matter how much you think you're going to want to sit there and play it for an hour straight, you probably won't. You'll feel compelled to take a break after about 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. Yeah.
And Ricky Keller, our listener, brings up viewer, actually, I guess I should say, brings up a good point and says that phones were not designed with with heavy 3D rendering, just in their nature. But nonetheless, I've been able to the muscle is not the problem. It's maybe this is what you meant, but I'm just clarifying. Like the performance of the phone is strikingly good. Like with the I mean, there's virtually no lag. Like if you're in like a fully rendered 3D world and you're whipping your head back and forth, like there is virtually no lag, no stutter when you're moving your head around. I think that's super impressive. So the horsepower is not the problem. It's just the cooling. And all they need is a little fan in there just to move some air over the back of the case. I think it would make a huge bit of difference. But that's just my opinion, having not tried it. So.
So, am I the only one here who bought a desk fan and just points it at my phone?
I did play with my desk. It's not a desk fan. It's actually I was sitting on my ottoman, which is over here, with this that ottoman. And I had that fan pointed at it, yeah, and that actually did. I didn't even think about that, but that did manage to cool it off quite a bit.
Were you also playing a flight sim? Because you should have been.
Oh, missed fucking opportunity. Omega Agent, that's what it's going to be. But no, that's it. So speaking of which, why don't we talk about some games and some experiences we've had on here? Charlie, let's start with you, man.
So the game that I keep on going back to, I've tried a couple games, a couple of the different like VR, just like movies and things like that. But the game that I keep on going back to, and I've talked about it before, is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It is a bomb defusal game. If you're not familiar with this game at all, if you've ever seen like a TV show or movie where they're doing the thing where they've got like somebody trying to defuse a bomb and they're talking on the phone or a radio to like the person who actually knows how to defuse the bomb and they're trying to walk them through like diffusing it, like how many wires are there? Okay, cut the blue wire. Like that whole scenario. That is this game, and it is perfect. It is so much fun. It's there's so the player that's actually, now to be clear, there is a version of this game that you can play just on a computer. So the 3D is only immersive. It's not required for the format of the game at all, but it does make it more.
It makes a huge difference. It comes with a manual.
Yes, the bomb defusal manual.
This manual that will give you, whoever's not under the headset, it will ask you questions and give you images that allows you to ask the person under the headset what they're looking at so that you can help tell them which wires to cut, which batteries to pull out, which Morse code items to tap out on the side of the headset. I mean, it gets pretty intense, man. I got to play it with Ricky Keller actually a couple nights ago, and he was pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get back to that in a second. I didn't know Ricky had finally tried a VR headset, but
yes, he did.
Because we've talked about that a few times with in regards to that gentleman. But coming back to this, so yeah, it's just a ridiculous amount of fun, and the thing that I like about it the most is that if you go on YouTube, I think it was actually BuzzFeed that did a video of like couples trying to play this game, and like I'm sure they cherry picked the ones that were the most fun to watch. But I mean, like this video is full of nothing but couples getting in fights over trying to communicate over solving this thing. Because to be clear, in case I haven't made this clear, in case John and I haven't made this clear, the person with the headset is the only one who can see the bomb, and they have to describe what they're seeing to the person with the manual, and then they have to communicate back and forth. And you're on a timer to do this, like minutes. Like single-digit minutes to do it, and it can get, like John said, it can get.
I think it's
stressful.
on average of 5 minutes is what they give you. But I mean that BuzzFeed video, before I even tried it, I had seen that BuzzFeed video, and I fucking hate BuzzFeed. But that video, I guarantee you, has sold many copies of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a very convincing video.
But the thing I love about playing this game, and I'm sorry, I have to relationship humble brag a little bit, is that Michelle and I, we are experts at this game. I'm sorry, like we have such good communication and teamwork that it makes me feel so good as a human being to play this game with her.
My wife doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to dupe her into playing it with me this evening.
I kind of feel like this should be Periscoped or something. But
oh my God, man, don't tempt me. But any other games in particular that you've enjoyed playing?
Yeah, unfortunately my phone has died, so I can't look up the name of it because I can't remember the name right now. But there's a puzzle game that I've been playing that's it's very Portal-esque.
Esper. It's called Esper.
Yes, Esper. That's it. It's Portal 2-esque in as much as when you're in the middle section of Portal 2 and you're in the underground layer and like you're in that like old-timey test facility. It's a lot like that with like this disembodied voice walking you through doing these tests, and you have to you're learning how to use your kinetic powers and like pick up things and move them around. It's a lot of fun, and the puzzles are good. The puzzles are engaging. It is just a puzzle game, so I mean there's not like a lot of it's at least as far as I've gotten in the game, it just takes place inside this one room, and like the puzzle pieces all come out on robotic hydraulic arms into the room and like assemble themselves so you can solve it, and then they all disappear out back into the wall.
So it's very reminiscent of Portal in that
so
way.
It's cool. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's well narrated. Whoever's doing the voice acting for the disembodied, test instructor voice, he's very good at it. The puzzles are fun enough, and but yeah. So those are the two games that I've enjoyed the most. I've tried a couple other things, but not really enough to really comment on, just because I can't stop playing. Keep talking, and nobody explodes. I just can't help it.
What about you, Goat? You got any particular favorites on yours?
My two favorites right now are VR Sprint Kart Racer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cheap. It's Mario Kart, but it's super cheap. But it's awesome to be like sit in the cart and actually drive and be able to like spin your head around and see who's behind you.
It's pretty rad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then my other one. Oh, can you?
Yeah.
I'll have to just kick your ass all over the track then.
Oh, by the way, in the most recent update for the operating system, or for the home screen on there, you can actually record video directly to your phone from whatever you're watching. So we could actually record that and prove that I stomped your face in.
I don't think
so. I remember in the initial release, it didn't record audio. Has that been fixed?
To the best of my knowledge, it has, but we'll double check and make sure.
Okay. Because I saw that came out. I think it was our friend Danny Waskow, friend of the show, that pointed out that you could do that now. But then I thought that you could. I remember him saying that you can record audio, and so I wasn't even considering it until that was fixed. But yeah.
So, anything else, Goat, that you were enjoying?
The other one that really wows me, but it's kind of hot on my phone, is Minecraft. That is the perfect medium for Minecraft.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got some thoughts on that one too.
But other than that, I mean, I've been fumbling around with other ones, but I just don't. I use my phone too much to put it down for that long to use my headset as much as I should probably.
Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about what I've been playing. So for anybody who's never used this medium, there aren't just games on it. They categorize it in a few different ways on the store. So there's games, entertainment, apps, and those are the three primary that they use. And so what they mean by entertainment is some of the stuff you watch in there is like they call them video experiences, where you're not playing anything, you're just watching cool shit happen around you. Like they have a Jurassic Park thing where a dinosaur gets in your face, and it's like a brontosaurus, and then it stands up, and it's really tall, and an Avengers one where when you start out, you're Iron Man, and you can move Iron Man's head. And so I'm just going to talk about the games, really, as not to run too long. The only thing I feel compelled to talk about in entertainment is that there is a VR movie theater that I lost my shit over, which you can listen to in that episode last March. And also, there's a Netflix app in it, and I actually do use the Netflix app when I'm at work on my lunch break. to get away from that horrible place. And it is actually stable and sturdy enough that I can get through a whole episode of like The Flash or something and not be bothered at all, because it's not an intense thing. You're just watching the screen, and the picture quality is pretty decent. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. It's also going to be good for people who are taking plane rides or car rides, and you just kind of want to shut what's going on around you out.
Tour buses?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Fucking go perfect. So games.
I don't know why I have that idea.
For anybody who wants to try this stuff out, believe it or not, they do supply you with a lot of free stuff on the store. I suspect they're giving people a lot of free content because they want people to try it. They want people to invest in it, so they're giving away a lot of little things at the start. There are plenty of demos on there, so don't be afraid to try it. But be aware that not everything just uses the trackpad on the side of the helmet. Some games require a controller, which I think we should talk about after we're done talking about the games. Bluetooth controllers are a must if you want to enjoy games, not just experiences.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do the list of what I've been playing, because it is actually a pretty fucking long list, I'm not going to lie. Jump. Jump is a game where you are a free runner who runs across building rooftops and jumps from rooftop to rooftop trying to reach the highest point in any given level you're at. It's very arcadey. It's like almost maybe voxel-style graphics, and it's very, very arcadey. Like when you jump like 40 feet into the air. It's not realistic at all. But it does provide a really outstanding sensation of falling when you fall, and you've got hands in front of your face kind of like this, so when you jump you see an arm in front of you, and then you've got another arm over here that's kind of off to the side. It's convincing. It's very neat. Very I don't know if that one's worth the price of the game, but it's pretty cool. Danny Waskow recommended that we try a game called Omega Agent, which from the screenshots I didn't want to play because it didn't look very good, but Omega Agent is awesome. You're flying a jetpack around. And the best thing that I can relate it to is it's almost like virtual reality Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings 64, maybe. It's kind of cartoony and silly, and it's got like a 1960s like secret agent style vibe to it, but it's really fucking cool, and you do feel like you're in a jetpack. And this one lets you have full camera control, so be careful. Can make you a little nauseous if you don't play the right way. VR Kart Sprints. Like Goat said, nothing I couldn't say about that he didn't already mention. Dread Halls, which is one of the games we played last year. It is a scary game. It looks like a PlayStation 2 game. It looks like shit, technically, but it still scares the fuck out of me because you are still in an enclosed space being chased by monsters. Eve Gunjack, which up until recently was kind of the graphical showpiece for the Gear VR. The best way I can explain it to you is it's almost like 3D Galaga. It's the only way I can think of to say it. End Space is the thing that seems to have knocked Gunjack out of that slot, because End Space is like Gunjack in that you are in a pod firing at things, but you are in a moving spaceship that you have complete control over with both thumbsticks, so you can look in any direction while you're flying and moving, and it is kind of intense and can make you sick if you're not careful. Smash Hit, which is a mobile game that they ported. Minecraft. I didn't play as much of it as I wanted to, but it's Minecraft. It is everything that you know about Minecraft in a fucking virtual space. You are in the world that you build. And it is... I don't know how to describe it, but it is profound. It is profound to be able to step into a world that you built. I predict that it will ruin society.
Yay.
Oculus Arcade, which is... you go into a virtual arcade, you see cabinets, and there's a couple of different developers that you can pick their cabinets, play a handful of their games, and then when you go to the game, you're standing in front of the arcade cabinet, you can move the arcade stick and press the little buttons, and it actually moves in the world. Kind of crazy, but you have to buy the individual games. Not so good. Dead Secret, which is kind of a scary game. I don't know how to describe it to you. It's like a murder mystery type game that has a little bit of a Japanese horror flavor to it. I recommend it. It's really neat. It's graphically solid. And I recommend YouTubing these things. Type in any of the names of these games and then type in Gear VR and put it on YouTube to see what they look like. It's very hard to understand if you don't play. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, which I played with Ricky Keller. Just as awesome as Charlie said. Adventure Time is arguably one of the best games on this thing.
Really?
I'm not fucking kidding. It's not crazy long, but it is the closest thing to a real video game you're going to play on it. It is a platformer, and a platform in the style of like Spyro or Ratchet and Clank, or not as deep as those things, but enough to give you a taste of what video games can really be. It's clever, it's funny, it's smart, it's a good representation of the show. They got the entire cast that does appear in it to do their voices. And it's just fun. It was really fun, and it was a really sturdy looking game graphically, so it didn't bother my eyes at all.
Okay, yeah, because I played the Finn and Jake Adventures on the Xbox One, and I wasn't, or Investigations, and I wasn't impressed with it at all.
No, it's kind of shit. This is a much better game just because to be clear, it's 3 levels. You could probably finish it in an hour.
Okay.
But it is, I'm of the opinion, in the top 3 best video games on this thing because it plays like a video game. And it's really solid. It's really well done.
All right.
And then finally, Land's End, which is kind of a puzzle game. I don't know how to explain it to you. Just play it. It actually made me smile heavily while I was playing it because there are moments in it that are just really, it's sometimes soothing, sometimes like awe-inspiring, and you feel like you are there. It's really good. And you move around blocks and things to finish puzzles and connect things together. It's neat. It's just really cool. I recommend it.
It made me cuss a lot.
Did you? Did it really?
You were there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't see why. It's a good game.
Because I kept yelling at the blocks to do what I wanted them to do, and they were not doing what I wanted them to do.
Yeah. Ricky Keller agrees with me in saying that Adventure Time begins to show the potential of VR interactive experiences. He does agree with me on that, and he says it's surprisingly great. And if you like the show,
like the kid says, Ricky.
Yeah, if you like the show, it's a bonus because it's a cute thing. They even interact. They break the fourth wall a lot in really smart ways in that game. As not to run any longer than I already have because I just had a long list of shit to play.
Is there anything you didn't play? Maybe we should have went with that list in the store.
There's plenty of things. There's plenty of stuff I didn't play. And there's a lot more that I did play that aren't games. I just not going to talk about them.
John did not play 4 things out of the entire store.
Maybe, give or take. Now, with games, for the ones that you're going to purchase, don't be afraid. The price ranges on these things are not soul-crushing. They range from like $2.99 to $9.99. I have seen nothing more expensive than $9.99 on these stores. And the average price, I would say, is closer to like $6 or $7.
And they do have stuff on sale like all the time.
Yeah, like 33% off sales. They do them constantly. So whatever's $9.99 will be around $6, a little over $6. And almost every time I see that, I have to hide my phone so I don't buy it.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing with this platform. It's really inexpensive, man. It's really cool. Controller, though. All 3 of us have 3 different controllers for our VR headsets. So since I'm already rambling about games, I'm going to get mine out of the way first and then pass it to you guys. I have a Moga Hero, which is Moga's like they do 3 controller lines, and this one is the like middle line. Goat has the top of the line one, which I'm sure he'll talk about in a minute. It's the Moga Hero. It's got thumbsticks that are, I would liken them to like the PSP or PS Vita thumbsticks. They're kind of comparable to, or not the PSP, the Vita sticks, kind of comparable. It's got standard D-pad, face buttons here, start and select, L1 and R1, bumpers and triggers. You can charge your phone from it, and it's designed to be played with your phone in here. So if you want to play like Android games, it worked great with Knights of the Old Republic, by the way. I recommend it for that. And then underneath there's a charging port, and then your Bluetooth switch. This thing works just fine. I would have preferred to have a controller that feels more like an Xbox or PlayStation 4 controller, but I bought this one because it's thin and it's portable, so I can stick it in my pocket, and it does what I need it to do. It also has a rechargeable battery on it that has a really great battery life. So I recommend it. It was really affordable for me. I think I paid $30 for this thing, so which is not retail, by the way. So I'm happy with my controller. If you buy one of these, buy a controller. You have to. I'm telling you.
If you plan on gaming, yes.
Yeah.
Go. So how does your controller compare to John's?
Well, here's mine. It's looks a lot alike John's with improvements, as in better thumbsticks, more Xbox 3.
I'm gonna hold mine up to give you guys kind of a comparison. Yeah.
Comparison there.
His is thicker. It does look and feel more like an Xbox controller.
Mine has whoops. I'm new at this camera thing, guys. A little thicker here. It's also it's a lot thicker here. It's very Xbox 360-ish or Xbox One-y. Other than that, I mean, This is a little taller too. I've noticed. If you notice on the right here, my D-pad is super tall compared to John's.
Oh,
Other
okay.
than that, yeah. Other than that, I mean, if you put them next to each other, they look a lot alike. I still have the little flip door, same thing. So it's just a little bit. I don't know. They call this the Pro.
Yeah.
Um.
It's heavier hardware, right? Like it's a thicker
Um.
plastic. It's a little bit more ergonomic as well.
I would say it's more. It's almost a direct rip-off of an Xbox controller. Weight, size, everything.
Hmm.
So I mean, and I only paid I think 40, 45 for mine. So I mean, it depends on
I had
where you
about the
want to
same
be.
thing. I had about a $10 price difference as an option for the Pro, but
Yeah.
what won out ultimately was the portability, the slim portability of this one, so I
Well,
could
this
take it
one.
with me.
Well, this fits right in my case in front of my unit, so it doesn't bother me.
I'm sure you do keep that in front of your unit, Goat. So yeah, I can make dick jokes too.
And
I don't know where you would hold your controller at, John, unless it's in front of your unit.
fair. And
Speaking of controllers, again, Charlie.
Yeah.
so I went a different direction. I got the Tesla of the controller world, because I'm replacing Tesla with not Cadillac. You know, they say like I got the Cadillac. Oh, screw that! I got the Tesla of the controller world. I got the SteelSeries Stratus XL. So this is so first of all, it should be clarified that I ordered this controller on January 4th from Amazon. It was delivered to me on February 24th. And currently, this controller has a usually ships window of 1 to 2 months. So that is how high in demand this controller is compared to how quickly they're able to manufacture them. This is there is a long wait list for this guy, and I personally feel it is completely justified. The controller does cost $60, so it is the same price as like as like an Xbox One or PS4 controller. It does have almost exactly an Xbox One layout, except that it's got the thumbsticks on the same level, like with the PS4.
I don't like that.
This is the controller that the Samsung Gear VR team recommends that you purchase for the Gear VR. There is this Samsung controller. It's this wimpy, sad, tragic, overpriced little piece of shit, and it's still made by SteelSeries, which is the brand that Charlie has. But that's what they recommended until this controller came out. They recommend this one, and I have both had our hands on it, and it's nice, man.
So that just completely kills the Cadillac idea. Well, not really, because I mean, people think Cadillac is great. But so Samsung says, "Hey, here's a bunch of free VRs to your S7s. This is the controller we recommend with it." And everybody's like, "I don't know what VR is. I'll get what Samsung says." And amazingly, they're also on back order, much like the VR units. I don't.
But I'm of the opinion, having had my hands on that controller, it is. Of the three controllers we're talking about, easily the nicest controller. There was one other option that people said was really nice that looks like a PlayStation 4 controller, but I just didn't go for that one for whatever reason. The fatal flaw, I'm of the opinion that comes with the SteelSeries controller that Charlie has, is that it is AA batteries only.
See, I personally don't have a problem with that because I've got a rechargeable AA, a vast supply of rechargeable AA's in my house.
Yeah.
There's always fresh batteries ready to go sitting on the charger. So for me that is not a problem. That's actually a benefit. I prefer that over one has an enclosed rechargeable battery personally.
Yeah, for sure.
My only complaints with that are that the thumbsticks are kind of spongy. They're a little softer than I like. I'd like them to be
You're spoiled on your Xbox One.
I am. I love that freaking controller. That's true.
I do too, actually.
But yeah, no. Aside from that, it feels great. So the action is really good, and the battery life is phenomenal.
The thing that throws me off is the thumbstick placement.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I'm just kind of, I don't know. I've gotten used to having a thumbstick where it should be.
See, I don't have that problem. I can do whatever with thumbsticks. It doesn't bother me either way. So, to keep the train rolling, as it were. Oh, one other thing. The version that Goat has, if you buy it brand new, if you can find it brand new, or if somebody's willing to package everything together with it, it does come with a case. The Gear VR versions that Charlie and I own, which is the standard version you can buy at market right now, does not come with a case. So I ordered a case separately. It's a kind of a hard shell case, and it fits just the Gear VR. You can't stick a controller.
How about this case?
Yeah, his is super nice.
If I can get it to go where I want it to. This camera thing sucks. All right.
Just hold it in front of your head. You're holding it too close. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
It's
what
really
I
nice
got.
case.
And it opens
Mm-hmm.
unit stuff. And
Yeah.
a little storage bag. So.
I mean, I guess realistically, if you could find someone willing to part with one aftermarket, you could have that case for the current unit. But mine is sufficient. I just can't put the controller in it, which is why I wanted it in my pocket and didn't want to pay $15 more just to be able to stick the controller in it.
But what I did is I had upgraded my camera bag recently, so I have my old camera bag that's really nicely padded and has like the
Oh shit, that's perfect.
And so I've got my controller on one side, and then my Gear VR on the other side, and then I can fit some headphones or whatever else I want in there. It works out great. But it's not hard, but it's like super padded. So yeah.
I recommend playing games with headphones if you can as well.
Yes.
So you can just use whatever headphones you have. But if you can get like Bluetooth neckband headphones that are wireless, will make the experience a little bit easier.
I actually read something interesting. Apparently, Oculus is specifically dissuading people from using Bluetooth headphones because of the audio compression. They say that it's just not up to snuff, and especially because that also just puts more work on your phone to run it over Bluetooth.
Sure.
Oculus themselves actually strongly recommend using like the little earbuds. The little spongy earbuds they say are best.
Yeah. Fair enough. Very good. So unless you gentlemen can think of anything else specific that we should discuss, in this particular segment.
Well, so here's my question to you guys. Now having used the what some might consider VR Lite, in terms of everything that's available, how much more, or like how much is your interest in a I guess I'll say a desktop version of VR, whether it be the Oculus, the Vive, or or a PlayStation VR or whatever else, something that's not just run off of a phone. How much has your interest in a desktop version of VR changed after your experience with the Gear VR?
Mine has not changed any more than it has. I want one I would prefer to have a Vive just based on its hardware specs, but I've heard that we'll talk about it in the mailbag. I got a response where I had a nice conversation with somebody who's been able to play every platform, and they had a lot of opinions on it. So it's I just want one. Like, there's nothing that anybody can say to tell me that this is not fucking awesome, period, the end. Yep. Unless it makes you nauseous and you can't deal with it, and I don't have that problem, so I'm happy.
Goat, how about you?
For what? Sorry, I tuned out for a second.
That's okay.
We're only live, Goat. Jesus.
How much has your interest in a desktop version of VR changed after your experience with your Gear VR?
Oh, zero. I have absolutely no need to spend that kind of fucking money on anything like that. I have it right here, completely portable, and my life is really, really portable.
That's okay. That's fair.
Like, I'm on the road, man. Like, what am I? I'm gonna drag a fucking $3,000 laptop or desktop with me? Nope.
That's expected and fair.
Yeah, but to be fair, you are gonna get a different experience with those in terms of the quality of actual video games you can play with them. So I'm curious to see if it makes that big of a difference.
Yeah, but this is sorry if I'm lifting the goat curtain a little bit more than you prefer, Goat, but I'll just say very generically that this is the guy that had the same model of cell phone for what, 8 years, something like that. I'm exaggerating, but you
hold on. No, you're not far. Let me think here.
It was only 7.5, Charlie, you asshole.
5 years. It was 5 years.
Yeah, he had the same smartphone for 5 years. So I mean, like, latest and greatest isn't exactly high on Goat's radar. So priorities.
In 5 years. Hey, in 5 years, that phone's seen probably 350 shows and probably 100,000 miles.
I'm not saying it wasn't money worth spent. I'm just saying I'm just using it to illustrate your priorities. So
yeah, if it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, in terms of quality of what Goat's getting out of his his units, John. I think what he has is adequate to his lifestyle.
There you go. Fair enough.
But that being said, John, I'm definitely on the same boat as you. I want a desktop version of VR so badly. I want to play that Eve game so bad.
Valkyrie.
Yeah. I want to play that really, 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 really bad. I'm still kick myself every now and then for missing the pre-order window on the the PlayStation VR headsets, but it's probably a good thing because I don't really have the money for it anyways. But
Yeah.
anyways, but yes, no. As soon as one becomes available to me and in a semi-affordable bracket, I will be petitioning my better half, an accountant, for permission to check one out.
So Darcy brings up the idea. Cardboard's free, right?
I mean, yes, but having compared cardboard to Gear VR, there is a very significant quality difference. And the reason why that is when you plug a Samsung phone into a Gear VR headset, it completely takes over the phone. It shuts down all non-essential functions and features so that it can devote every possible ounce of that phone's horsepower into running the VR.
Mm-hmm.
Cardboard is not so much. You get frame rate drops, you get stutters when you're moving around if your phone is doing anything else. And so there is a vast difference in terms of quality.
It's still amazing if you haven't tried VR at all.
Yeah, I would say.
Once you
her
try
comment is she wants to
things,
get a cardboard before getting into VR, and I think that would be a good entry point.
Darcy, I own a cardboard unit that I'm willing to let you try out before you spend money on anything, so that you can see how you feel about it beforehand. If you just remind me to bring it next time you're going to come to one of the villain shows, I'll be glad to share that.
John will be okay with you using his unit.
Yeah. Nope. Let's Google Cardboard. Let's be clear. Let's not lose focus here. Stay focused. Go.
You can buy Google Cardboard for $15 from various places, or you can find them as.
Oh, I thought it was free.
You can often find them as free promotional items, like with the Star Wars ones that you can get at Verizon stores and things like that. But they're not free. I think you're primarily paying for shipping and handling when you order from Google Direct.
Okay, see, I didn't know. I thought it was like a hand-me-out thing that Google was like, here,
they have done that multiple times, but those are limited engagements when they do those.
Okay.
But actually, Darcy, if you're looking to pick up a VR headset, a Google Cardboard headset, the cardboard ones are fine, but the thing to remember about cardboard headsets is that in the spec to be an official Google Cardboard headset, you are not allowed to put a head strap on the headset. You're not allowed to make it so that you can strap it to your head. You're supposed to hold it up with your hands while you're using it. So just something to keep in mind.
It's Viewmaster.
Since you mentioned it, there is actually a Viewmaster branded Google Cardboard headset that you can get. That is actually one of the better ones you can get. Still no strap. But if you go onto eBay, or I think even Amazon, there are third-party ones where they've basically taken a cardboard headset and just glued a strap to it that you can use, or you can just attach one yourself.
It's just a little Velcro and some,
crafting.
Just a quick FYI.
Yeah.
But
if you have the means to spring for a Gear VR unit, I'm of the opinion it's the definitive gateway into VR, as we're going to see it in the next few years.
Yep, it is the angel dust of VR.
But I kind of feel like gents, unless you have anything else to add, that maybe we've covered what we need to cover on this.
No, I think we've for a segue. I think we've overheated this segment.
If anybody has any questions about any of the games outside of the show, or any recommendations, or wants a description of them, find me on any of our. Right here, you could see my Twitter handle, at the Fallon Flynn. Message me. I'll be glad to share whatever on any of my social media platforms, and I'm sure the guys will too.
Absolutely.
Mine is at right now. I will fix that.
That's true. That's predator language, is what that is.
Yeah. Using Wingdings for my font right now.
So moving on to the mailbag segment, we'll jump right into I'll throw in a response that Ricky actually put into the chat a while ago, but saving it for the mailbag because that's where it's most relevant. Ricky had been a long time.
Put you where you belong, Ricky.
Yes, been a long time. He's been very suspect. He's been of VR. He's been a long time.
He's been
opponent of the idea of VR.
Skeptical.
Skeptic. Yeah, there you go. That's a good word, skeptic. But in regards to the aforementioned his experience with John, he comments he was impressed with what he was able to play at John's, and the performance was pretty surprising. He tried a bunch of different things, a few overheats for more intense games, but generally very stable performance. And he continues, even when a game caused the device to overheat, the game still performed very well until receiving the message. So yeah, just and this is somebody who has been a long time, like I said, the perfect word is skeptic. That's what I was hunting for of VR being a sustainable consumer platform. But yeah, so take that. But for our mailbag, our question was to you. So all three of your hosts now have VR headsets. So we're going to revisit VR. Are you interested in a VR headset? Why or why not? So on our Facebook page, first response is from Caitlin Faust. She says, I would be mildly interested. I adore Minecraft and would love to try out the Minecraft Gear VR edition, but I'm hesitant to commit money to it before figuring out how it might affect my motion sickness issues, which are often caused by 3D games.
Oh man,
that
sounds like fun.
Yeah, well, or not if you're in the room and in range. So to be fair, Microsoft has never caused me this issue. I'm sorry, Minecraft has never caused me this issue.
I'm sure Microsoft has made many people very nauseous.
Yes. Yeah. To be fair, Minecraft has never caused me this issue, but many other 3D games have. It must be the blockiness. And then I just again, she has provided a very amusing GIF here, which I'm trying to open up in a new window so I can screen share, but I can't do it. So I'm just going to do it in our Facebook window here. And I mean, what even is this?
That's a squid.
And he's very happy to be in
motherfucking water.
Yeah. That's my son when I put him in the bathtub. I'm not kidding. Very excited.
He goes 8-bit?
He gets crazy, man. He goes completely 8-bit. Sweet. So I got a bunch of responses as well. Garrus Redfield responded by saying he did one in an arcade. He thought it was amazing, though you could tell it was VR like something out of the movie Tron. Good comparison. I would say that's pretty cool. Josh Wright said that he has tried Samsung VR and both the Rift and the Vive. Super awesome. Now, I asked him some particular questions about, the various differences between the platforms just to get a hands-on perspective from somebody who's done all of it. He said that the Rift is a lot more comfortable to wear than the Vive is. He said that the straps on the head are better, and it's a way lighter unit than the Vive. He said that fidelity is roughly equivalent to what you would see in the Vive, though, in terms of the way that the picture quality presents itself and head tracking and room tracking works. He did say that the Vive controllers were outstanding too. And obviously we'll get to try the equivalent of the Oculus hand controllers later this year. So then I asked him how the Gear VR stood up to both the Rift and the Vive as the two heavy hitters with all of the acceleration that they have working in those headsets, and he said he thought it was pretty good. He said it was. He said he thought that the Gear VR is a great idea. It's exactly kind of what we're saying. He thinks it's a great idea. It's portable. It's easy to use, and it's a good gateway into it. But the problem and the big difference between the two, which made me very happy to hear, is that the fidelity is not good enough on the Gear VR to want you to play, same as we said, 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and if you have the wrong kind of vision, it can give you a headache. He did say, though, because I was specific to ask him about whether or not he has this problem with the Rift or the Vive, and he said no. He says with the Rift and the Vive, he says he gets motion sickness very easily in his life, and he said that he does not have that problem with either of these units, and he says unlike the Gear VR, which does make you only want to sit and play for 45 minutes if possible, he says you can play these, he could play these for hours and it doesn't bother him at all. He doesn't feel the need to get out or take a break because the fidelity is much better. So that maybe is the big difference.
Any other responses on your side, John?
Yes, Becky Akers says that she can't use them. If I'm lucky, I could get maybe 3 minutes out of it and pay for it for something like 3 hours and have to take a shit ton of painkillers, probably Dramamine, while hiding in the dark while stationary. So apparently it makes her seasick, is what she sounds like she's describing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But that's everything I had.
Go to any responses on your side.
Yeah, I got a couple Twitter responses because people use our Twitter. They're nice chaps. John Loyola.
Hi, tweeters.
Hello, Twitter.
John Loyola says all three of your no, he didn't say that. What did he say? He said this. I'm reading the wrong response. Ah, yes. He said, I am interested. Looking forward to the PlayStation VR, as it is the only one I can afford and looks good. So we have a PlayStation guy by default and bank
I have a
account.
feeling there's a lot of default people out there for that unit based on price and the fact that they already own a PlayStation 4 as opposed to buying a $1,200 PC
Yes, I'm on
and
that
a
boat.
$600 to $800 headset.
Yes, and then we have counterpoint from Janine Reed. She says, "Not me. Prefer some connection with my surroundings. Thinks VR would be too intense for me." So we got a little
It's an
old school
interesting
there.
perspective.
Yeah. So that's all I got from the Twitters.
So speaking of VR being too intense for you, we do have one more response on our Facebook page, and this is from Mr. Matt Elfring. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the point in the show where everything just goes downhill.
No, uphill. It goes great.
So Matt's response is, I'm not interested in VR. It's a product of another era. I do, however, find the Illusion VR suit hilarious. Wait, that wasn't a sarcastic answer. Go buy Smile Party 4 Funeral Fun at a Funko land near you. Now, before I show you, dear viewers, the Illusion VR suit, I'm going to give a little backstory as to what you're about to see here. So first off, I'm going to show you. It starts here with the Novent Falcon 3D force feedback controller. This is a controller that actually came out, I want to say, like 9 years ago. And the idea is that it's a 3D controller that you can attach peripherals to, and but it has force feedback in it. And I'll just play this little video real quick, just to kind of show that how it moves and how it's intended to work. And it's not going to go full screen on me for some reason. There we go.
I got to try this thing. If you fire a gun, it kicks.
It kicks.
It's the kick of a gun.
I want them to show more of the controller here. There, so you can kind of see as he's pulling the trigger, the mechanics in the controller. So there are motors that are connected to how the controller moves and how the controller works. So somebody has literally,
we can see where this is going.
so somebody has literally reversed the how this controller works, and well,
that.
And well, it starts here, and you can kind of expect what you're about to see. And so this is the Illusion VR bodysuit. This is the future of virtual reality, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember how we said porn rules the world?
You knew it was coming, though. No pun intended.
Oh man.
The future is now. I'm gonna say this forever and ever. The tragedy of humanity is that everybody has this humanity can make whatever they want, and the internet and this fucking suit is proof that every time this is where it's always gonna go.
Porn owns the world.
It's true. It's true. You're not wrong.
So whatever carrier that suit signs up to prioritized to will be the new Betamax.
So for the audio listeners, if you can just try and imagine, it's funny. Adrian Krevin actually mentions in the chat that it reminds him of a face hugger. That's actually not a bad comparison. So try and imagine a controller.
Well, it is a face hugger.
Well, try and imagine a controller that's generally shaped like a backwards face hugger. That's sitting on a man's chest, while the mobile part of it is I don't know how to say this. I'm sorry. I'm too innocent to say this. You're gonna have to say it.
Yeah, we're talking about some fake
It looks like it's giving you a handy.
And basically a light socket whacking a dude off.
Perfect.
That's as good as it's gonna get, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking disturbing.
Ricky says, talk about penetrating the market, eh, goat?
Yeah. Actually, that would be the market. That would be the market really screwing you.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to call this episode VR market penetration.
That's better than the last one.
Yeah.
And then of course we do always have our mailbag response from the wonderful Songbird. So she writes in and she says, Dear Technotronicorn, Golden Fallon Flynn, mailbag answer, I'm really excited to see what the future holds for VR. Unfortunately, I've yet to experience the tech in action myself, but I know that'll change in the coming months. Ever since I played the Virtual Boy, I've wanted to venture more into the world of gaming, and I'm honestly surprised it took so long to get to this point, considering other markets like cinema or other things. Yes, like what we just showed you. I'm assuming, maybe.
That's what she means by other things.
Yeah.
Yes. Because every child needs that in their house.
Yeah. So Songbird has challenged us to come up with other things that also make the acronym of VR. So, for example, virtuous rutabaga. So I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Velociraptor recital.
Okay, I'm gonna in lieu of our that happy fun joy suit, I'm gonna say very ribbed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
For
nice.
whose pleasure?
That's nice.
I don't want to fucking know.
Yeah.
Goat.
So, you're gonna hate me, but I'm thinking venereal regret.
All right. Songbird continues. Songbird, I don't know why you asked these questions. She continues. So, if you guys were to make your own VR experience and unleash it onto the world, what would it be like? Would it need special peripherals or other necessities? I would say that. I mean, the idea of a VR, I don't know if this is what you mean, but the idea of a Gamerhead Radio VR app, if you guys could sit in the studio and watch us, I mean, that sounds like it could possibly be fun. And we could, the only thing it would need to have is it would need to have a small launcher, like loaded up with these little things, and then so at triggered moments during the show, we could launch little dicks at your head. That's the best I have. What do you guys have?
Wow. Well, we don't have John. John has left the party for a second. He's apparently gone into the.
Hopefully he'll come right back.
Yeah, he'll come back.
Yep.
It's his week to be on his. So
I know. Hey man, shit happens. I'm back.
there it is. The internet has screwed you one time more. So the question is, what peripheral would you want?
So what would your so it was if you guys were to make your own VR experience and unleash it onto the world, what would it be like? So I didn't know if she meant us as a group as Gamerhead Radio or each of us individually. So I gave the Gamerhead Radio answer. So if you wanted to just go with that, or if you want to come up with your own VR experience,
I have yet to see, at least on the Gear VR platform, any sort of a good skydiving app because I'm that, or like somebody really needs to make an app where you're just in the ocean with a bunch of sharks and you have to try to punch them in the face because I'm terrified of sharks. More realistically though, I would love to play a game like Left 4 Dead under VR. You know what would be a good VR experience that you gave me the idea for earlier, Charlie, when we were talking about Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. When we did our iDarb episode last year where we talked about hashtag bombing people, I would love to play a VR game, a scary VR game where people can hashtag creatures into your map. Hashtag bomb you. Like taking VR and hashtag bombs and putting those two things together, I think would be the fucking coolest thing in the world.
I love that. If
it
you
could
guys
redefine multiplayer.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to our I think it was I think the episode title was
Jesus doesn't laugh at or no.
Nobody laughs. People don't laugh at Jesus or something like that.
People know, yeah. Christians don't laugh at Jesus and iDarb. That's it.
Right. Yes, and the hash bombing thing will make sense if you go back and listen to that episode. We won't cover it here for the sake of time, but I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. And then what was yours? I think you're about to say.
Oh, by my VR experience, that I would probably. What the hell? Sorry, I have a spider rolling around here. I'm trying to keep track of.
I hashtag bomb that into your room.
Yeah, like I don't care. It's just I want to catch him so I can put him in the lizard cage in a minute. But
for anybody who wants to catch that episode, by the way, it's episode 103 of Gamerhead Radio.
There we go, 103.
Yeah.
Basically, I would probably want to put it'd probably just be a torture device. It would make you do like a little quiz of what your first fears are, and then it would put that on the screen. So, I mean, John would be in a skydiving shark, and Charlie would be in my life.
That's
Charlie would have to go through the world as me.
No. I love you, but no. I love you from a distance. So, yikes. Okay. So Songbird concludes. If you were a child who grew up with VR tech, do you think it would have altered anything compared to as you did without it? If so, would you say you'd be a better person because of it? If not, would it have affected you negatively, or do you think you'd be the same person as you are now?
Really?
Wow, that is a deep question.
That is a deep question.
Really? Really? I can feel this right away. I grew up without the internet, and the shitheads on the internet are exactly that. Kids are just terrible people now. And I blame the internet for it.
How do you feel you would be different if you had grown up with the shitheads on the internet?
I'd be one of them. Wait, I am one of them. Damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's a very easy question to figure out.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just don't think. I don't think I'd be as. I don't think I'd be as go get 'em and as fuck you as I am. I think I'd be more like you, Charlie.
I'm not sure how to take that. But okay.
I think that was his way of saying that you're a polite, well-mannered fellow.
Yeah. You're a human.
You have a soul. That's what he's saying.
Well, thank you. Songbird.
Yeah, he does.
Thank you. I fooled you all.
No, I've written in it.
Yeah, so I get it. Nice. Songbird, I'm not sure I could possibly give a proper answer to this question the time that we want to stay within here. But in generally, I guess I would say that I feel like growing up with more your face is buried in technology as you grow up, the less social that you're going to end up being. But only to a small degree, and it's a different kind of social. Like, it's like when we grew up, we were social by going out and playing and things like that. And of course, people still do that, but more and more kids, I think, are just growing up, being raised by technology, by having their faces buried in technology, which can make you social in a different way if you're interacting in a social technology settings there. But as far as how different I would think I would be, I don't know. I'm kind of pretty far along on the end of like the technology obsessed social person that I am already, so I'm not sure I could get farther along on that particular end of the spectrum. So I'm not sure how much different I would be, because
I don't think you would change.
I don't know.
As knowing somebody for 20 years, and I have, Charlie has been on the cutting edge of technology his entire life, and I think he would just be the same person, just with better technology.
Well, crap. Let's do that then. So that's the best answer I can come up with, which isn't a very good one. I'm sorry, but that's a lot to think about. John, do you have anything better?
Yeah, I don't know about better, but different. I think that I would be a very different person if I had access to this stuff before. If I were a kid coming up now, with this kind of technology, I got in trouble a lot in school when I was younger because I loved video games so much that I couldn't seem to take it away from school. Like, I was always drawing video game stuff on the back of papers. I would do reports on. I took my Dreamcast apart to show people the guts and explain what everything was. And I really loved video games when I was a younger guy, and still do. But I can tell you right now, as somebody who truly, truly does love every aspect of gaming, I can tell you right now that anybody under the age of, like, I don't know if I would want kids under the age of, I don't know. I don't even know what I would say. I don't know if I would want kids under a certain age to have the access to it. It's overwhelming. I mean, as an adult, it's mind-blowing, but as a responsible adult, I can handle it. As a kid, I wouldn't have been able to handle this. I'm telling you right now, it would not have been possible for me to handle it. I wouldn't have been able to deal with it at all.
Yeah.
So I think I would be a very different person if I had access to this stuff right now, because I think I would be a social train wreck at this point. I don't think I'd ever leave the fucking house. I do think that we're going to hear about it when this stuff becomes more common, but I think this type of entertainment has the potential to really, I was joking earlier, kind of really damage society if it's not handled
So
properly.
what you're saying, John, is you would never become a rock star and probably become a profitable person in society.
Yes, that is correct. So if you wanna live your life, don't buy VR.
Oh, that's so sad.
No, I'm not just kidding. Fucking buy it. Do it all the time.
So Songbird, thank you very much for your email. We have a couple other QA responses here that we're just going to, a couple that I think are worth mentioning here. Darcy agrees that Darcy, right? That's who Mark Fleming is, I believe.
It's either or.
John,
It's
right.
Darcy or
Right. VR is totally the future for gaming. I would totally buy a gear. After trying it, Japan is already beta testing for VR Sword Art Online. It's kind of a big deal because the game TV show is all about VR games. Ricky asks, so we'll try to answer this super briefly. Do you guys think the VR headsets will eventually replace our current monitors as the preferred way to view and play games, or will it have its place side by side with our current monitors? I will say I think it'll be side by side. I think that there's enough people who will want to be able to not lock themselves away in that. Okay, for gaming specifically, I could actually see it becoming the preferred method once it's affordable, but not for productivity tests or anything like that. What do you guys think?
See, I see corporate America taking it on because then you have no reason to talk to anybody ever, and you can always work.
Well, I don't know. I think that it depends on. I think it depends on how it's used. I mean, if you get the right people in there, putting their heads together with it, you could find a practical application, a reason to do it that way. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would make it something you would need, but I'm sure you could find. I would never have considered something like. Keep talking and nobody explodes with a paper manual, which seems so old-fashioned next to the other technology. It's totally fucking effective.
Yeah.
I would say that HoloLens has a better chance of replacing our monitors.
For gaming specifically, you think?
For more of like the workplace and stuff like that. For gaming specifically, we'll probably just do VR and go blind.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Thanks everybody for the other comments in here, but we're going to try and move on because we're already over time. So, gentlemen, super briefly, what do you guys have coming up in your schedules you'd like to share with folks?
Everything John's about to say.
Yeah. V's for Villains is going to be playing a handful of shows. We've been a little bit quiet coming up, but we've got. We're going to be playing. We didn't get to do it last year, but we're going to be playing at anime. All of a sudden, my brain just went to shit. Animiniapolis, that's correct. Animiniapolis is coming up. I know. Animiniapolis. Something we've done several years in a row. This is the first year. Last year was the first year we hadn't done it. We're going to be back. That's going to be May 6th through the 8th at the Hyatt Regency in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is also consequently likely the only show this year that I will not be at for reasons that are far too uninteresting to get into here. But suffice it to say, I will not be there. We are also going to be doing a show, another one. I'll wait to talk about that one for next week because that's after Minneapolis. We'll just focus on Minneapolis. But there's going to be
in Minnesota.
It's going to be in Ohio. That's the next one that we're going to be to. Then after that, Anime Midwest is going to be in July, and I'm really excited for that because we're debuting new costumes and a new villain at that show, as we talked about last week. So Goat will be helping us with that stuff, so he will be where we are during that time. But that's it. That's everything I got right now. About to finish a semester of school on a personal level, thank fucking God, and then that's it for me. What about you guys?
Like Goat said, everything John just said, except for the school part. On my
How do you know I'm not going to school?
Oh, educated guess. You're
going to school now?
No. That's one of the few things I'm not doing. But So as mentioned at the top of the show, so next week is going to be really interesting, like because just with the scheduling where we're all going to be. I will be probably Sunday night. I will probably be in Portland. Actually, is where I'm anticipating and being. And then so just keep an eye on our schedules and our Twitter feeds and our Facebooks and all that to find out when next week's show will be. But hopefully it will be posted around the normal time on Tuesday. But I'm doing this because I am taking a cross-country sojourn to get to stop at breweries, play with sloths, and then eventually end up at Everfree Northwest from May 13th through 15th, is that right? Whatever that week. Yes, 13th through 15th. And that's in Seattle, and I'm running their autograph room, and so it's gonna be a really good time. This is Everfree Northwest is one of the larger brony conventions. The ones that I've talked about and have worked in before between Ciderfest, Winnie City, and MLP MSV, they have usually like 5, 6, 7 guests of honor. I think last time I looked, Everfree Northwest is something like 15, somewhere between like 15 and 20. And so it's a much larger scale. I believe it's one of the two large conventions that are over on the west coast, between them and BabsCon, the Bay Area Brony Spectacular, which was just a couple weeks ago, a week ago, yeah. But yeah, so Everfree Northwest. If anybody happens to be in the Seattle ballpark, and wants to stop by and say hi and say hi to me, and if you want to find out what the hell a Brony convention looks like, come to Everfree Northwest, because it's going to be an amazing time. But yeah, no. Then after that, a couple weeks after that, I will be at I can't think, Midwest Brony Fest down in Kansas City, Missouri. And then a couple weeks after, so 2 weeks after. So 2 weeks after Everfree, I'll be in Kansas City. 2 weeks after that, I will be in Minneapolis for MLP MSP, and then my travel run comes to an end until November, when I just pop back up to Milwaukee for Ponyville Cider Fest. So all the pony conventions is what's on my calendar. But with all that being said, next week, gentlemen, is there anything that came out of this episode that you'd like to ask our fine folk for next week?
No.
Off the top of my head, I got nothing. We'll have to talk about it after the show. We will likely
stay tuned.
Yeah. So posted for you guys this week.
Yep. So stay tuned to our social media feeds to find out what the mailbag is for next week, like John just said. But aside from all that, thank you everyone very much for watching. Everyone for has tuned in and participated with us live. You guys, it's the live interaction. I think is my favorite part of this new format.
Yeah, it's great.
And we're glad that you guys seem to be enjoying it as well. But definitely keep the feedback coming. I know that my audio in last week's episode was really high up, so hopefully we fix that issue this time around. Learning as we go, improving as we go, so hopefully you guys like what you're hearing. But keep the feedback coming, please. But yeah, with all that being said, if you like what you heard, you can find us at gamerheadradio.com, at facebook.com/gamerheadradio, at google.com/+gamerheadradio, and on Twitter at gamerheadradio, where I am at TEK Charlie. John is at DFallonFlynn, and Goat is at which actually says at Sir Goatsworth. Even though you can't read it, he's having yes.
Yes, I'm in a gargling penis font. Yes.
Thank you, John, for that facial expression.
It's stuck like this. I can't move it.
Carlton will have some photoshopping fun with that.
Yes.
Email us at editors@gamerheadradio.com, or call us and leave us a voicemail at 94926gamer. You can download the official Gamerhead Radio app on Google Play on Android platforms, or you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, where you will find this episode immediately after it's done recording, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Twitch, and with your podcast downloader of choice. Of course, the audio format will be up Tuesday as always. So thank you very much for listening. This has been episode 165 of Gamerhead Radio.
Woo! Thank you, everybody, too, for leaving all the responses that you did in the chat box we didn't get to. Keep them coming next week.
Firework graphic for the end.
I'm just going to light up fireworks in my living room.
That seems unsafe, and your wife will kill you.
We're going to burn this motherfucker down.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Charlie's adding effects. This seems to be going in my favor.
Do I have? Well, I don't have fireworks. But...
Oh!
A little warning on the Gong Show.
I have
a party hat. No.
Oh, we have a laugh track.
This shit just got mad weird, man.
Oh boy.
I have a happy celebration episode 65 to me.
So here's the thing. If I really want to be like everybody else in Gamerhead Radio, I'm just gonna go like this. I don't need to grow a beard anymore. I'm just...
Wow.
That is the creepiest John face I think I've ever seen. Good lord.
Wow.
You could at least do the long beard and like the handlebar mustache. Like it's just a goatee. Oh.
Yeah, just a goat.
You actually had that for a minute, didn't you?
Yeah. This shit got weird. We just
not cool.
This was almost a professional show until just right then. Then.
I just don't know what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
what
you're watching right now is what happens when a show falls apart.
This is the official after show.
Yes.
This is no longer, and Yeah, there. Yeah, go very appropriate, very appropriate. That's a nice pirate hat you have there.
The worst.
Wait. This actually works out better. This is more my style.
Oh, that is a fucking lie, is what that is. A lie.
Hey, look, go. It's opposite day.
Oh, how about that?
So
That's
sorry, everybody.
terrifying. That's terrifying.
So sorry.
Anyways, okay. So, gentlemen, lead in.
Lead in. It's
What,
time to get serious.
what was the title you came up with, John?
Nice.
Something about the VR market penetration. Yeah.
Ooh, it could be Charlie.
Those are not my glasses. What are you doing? Those are not my glasses. They're very 8-bit, thanks to your quality. Today on Gamerhead Radio, we get very serious and talk about market penetration.
Very
Something like that. John, congratulations! You don't even know what to say right now, John. That's
just
Oh
here.
man, we've got crickets for bombing. I'm still gonna start using this shit.
That's what happens. That's what happens, everybody. Jesus Christ.
wow.
There we go. Yeah, this stuff's
And
useful.
the title of the show is
Man.
We found sounds.
I only wish I could load up my own sound effects into there.
Oh yeah. There we go.
All right. Anywho, today on Gamerhead Radio, we get very serious and talk about VR market penetration.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Today on Gamerhead Radio, what?
No, just
What's
nothing.
going on?
Oh, nothing. Everything's normal.
You've got some schmutz on your face there.
Oh, I didn't realize I was a puppet.
Didn't
Here
you
we
go?
go. Better. There we go. That's better.
What is even happening? Anyways, do you guys have another idea?
Yeah. Today on Gamerhead Radio, do you screw the market or does the VR market screw you?
Nope. That's not the winner. Market penetration is not bad. Today on
Yeah, we
Gamerhead
get
Radio.
They stick it to you in a suit.
Today on Gamerhead Radio, we talk about. Today on Gamerhead Radio, we talk about deep VR market penetration.
And when I say I'll get really close into the microphone and stuff.
Yeah.
Do it intense.
Yeah.
Do it intense.
Like creepy getting the van voice.
Okay. Today on Gamerhead Radio, we talk about deep VR market penetration. Gamerhead Radio starts now.
Jesus.
And I think that's a
was
winner.
I think we've got a
call
winner.
that a winner.
We'll call that a winner.
We'll call that a winner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just because I got really close into the mic, I'm concerned about blowing it out. I'm gonna do it one more time just in case.
Okay.
Today on Gamerhead Radio, we talk about deep VR market penetration.
Ooh.
Gamerhead Radio starts now. And that's how the sausage is made, ladies and gentlemen.
That's correct.
This
is how we do the show.
All right, so we're gonna go off air. So folks,
Okay.
to the four of you, my God, that have actually stuck around through this exact madness that you're seeing on the screen right now, with
What?
Ninja Devil Kitty Goat.
What is wrong with Workout Devil Kitty? I think it's a good look for me.
I actually agree. So everybody, thank you very much for watching. This has been the Gamerhead Radio 165 After Show. I apologize. Good night.